What? Yeah! What? What? Check this out, right? What? What? Yeah! What? What? Check this out, right? What? What? Yeah!
Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon to East Coasters. Welcome to What, where I swear this song on my intro is like my new favorite song ever. I can't stop listening to it. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. I see somebody named the Fountainhead. So good morning to you. Thank you for coming by and welcome. Yona, good morning to you. Everybody check out Yona's page. He has been releasing a lot of his stuff back onto his new channel. So click on his name right there. Go to his channel. Give him a subscribe. He's the guy that does the my intro song. So it's awesome. I absolutely love it. Good morning, Holly. Good to see you. I know Amber is around here somewhere as well. I've been seeing her sharing my stuff this morning too. So good morning, Amber. And good morning, everyone else. I had a really nice, relaxing weekend. It was very just calming, not too much going on, escaping reality, playing lots of my video games. Was on Warren's show on Saturday night, which was a lot of fun. I don't get to talk very much, so I love it. I just get to sit back and relax and just listen to Warren talk while I sit there and just smile and nod my head in agreement. So it was a really good weekend. I was oh God, good morning again, Luigi. I have no idea where Mario is. Probably out eating mushrooms. um, but yeah, so this weekend I just played a lot of my video game. Me and Shake and Bacon and Les Bones really got into the Grounded video game, which has been a lot of fun. We actually got really into it. Started really doing some stuff, fucking around in there. Also doing like some quests, and it's just been really a lot of fun. I'm like learning to not be afraid of a lot of things in there, so definitely the boys have been helping me out with that. We got Shake and Bacon, who's like in our little trio. He's like our fearless leader. Anytime there's like a giant bug in that area, I'm always like, okay, well, we have to pass this area to get to the next area. And so he's just always like, let's do it. Let's go. Let's kill this thing. And we always end up killing it. So it was really cool to have a lot of successes in the game, especially with my fear. Ended up just yesterday, me and Les Bones played, and it was just so much fun. We were just in like new areas I didn't even know existed in the game. So we had an absolute blast this weekend just playing video games and just having some fun. So it was really, really nice. Very, like I said, very relaxing, escaping reality, not having to deal with the news and everything like that. I did get a lot of new stuff to cover. A lot of things have been happening this weekend with elections, just news around the world, politics, even in Canada, some celebrity stuff going on. So there's just a lot of things that have been happening this weekend. So oh, you got a new song for me? Yay! All right, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear it. I'm excited. Have I played Resident Evil? Yeah, Les Bones got me to play the very first one a few weeks back, and I'm waiting now for some of the later ones to come free on like PS Plus. That way I can play those, because I try to play the first one and the camera angles, how like when you walk and the camera angles switch because it's almost like a CCTV camera. I couldn't get myself to direct very well. I couldn't walk very well with that. So I'm hoping once these next ones start to become free on PS Plus, I'll be able to play those and get a little bit more into it. I definitely want to play those games because I heard they were pretty scary. I really enjoy scary games. Not really big on like the jump scares and stuff because that doesn't really scare me very much. It's more of like the thriller type games that get to me. But I do really enjoy scary games. So I definitely want to get to playing those. Just didn't really like the first one very well. So yeah. But welcome, Thubbo. Is that how you say your name? Or Tubbo? Dubbo? I don't know how you say it, but very nice to meet you. Thank you guys for coming and welcome. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk this morning. I think I got sick. My husband came home sick Friday from work, and you know me, I'm a mom, I'm a caretaker, so I've just been taking care of him all weekend, and I think because of taking care of him, I ended up getting sick. So now I'm sick again. I swear it's like every 2 to 3 weeks I've been getting sick since I started this show. So it's been nuts. Okay, I've literally been nuts. Like just the whole taking care of the family, and then now I'm starting to feel it. So I took some medicine this morning, hoping I'm all right. I'm like just like Yona, where like I have a problem with taking pills. Like every few times of taking pills, I like gag depending on how I feel. And this morning I was like, all right, I got to take this medicine. Like I have no choice. I have to take this medicine. I just took this medicine. I was like, almost gagged it all up. So there's my grossness for the morning. Oh, the Fountainhead is the name of a Caleb Maupin book. Interesting. Very interesting. Cool. What else has been going on? I think that's about all I've done this weekend. Trying not to do too much. And it looks like my lighting is really low today. I'm trying to fix the lighting. There we go. That's a little bit better. Just I gotta my laptop is my camera, and I need to get like one of those webcams or something, like a newish one, because this laptop is awesome. It's like, expensive laptop. It's a gaming laptop. I can play really good video games that's got like really good graphics, but the camera is a potato. And I can't handle a potato camera. It drives me absolutely insane. The book was accused of being anti-Semitic. Interesting. Yeah, speaking of anti-Semitic, I'm hoping that today we can at least watch and pause and talk a little bit in between the Dave Chappelle Saturday Night Live stand-up that he did. That was pretty interesting to hear him, to hear what he has to say. Definitely don't agree with a lot of things he says. He's a TERF, which he didn't bring up this weekend during the Saturday Night Live, but he did bring up like the whole Ukraine thing, and it looks like, or it sounds like, he's very supportive of Ukraine. He mentioned in the Saturday Night Live thing about how Ukraine killed like 10,000 Russians, and how Vietnam was like, damn, I'm like, dude, you just literally are okay with, people dying. But I figured hopefully we can watch that without getting copyright striked and get our thing shut down for a whole minute again. But we'll see how it goes. I got a lot of things to talk about today. Just last night, a college called University of Virginia, there was a shooting there last night. Some what is it? I think it was like athlete kids, football kids were murdered. The Florida, the devastation left over by the Hurricane Nicole. Also this weekend, some military planes were doing some air shows in Dallas. They ended up having a crash. And so people are trying to figure out what's going on with that. There was a bombing in Istanbul, Turkey, which was really, really sad. Some people passed away in that. Definitely like a really depressing weekend when it comes to at least like world news. Then also this weekend, a Supreme Court blocked Biden's student debt relief, which a lot of other stuff happened with it as well. I do want, I'll probably cover a little bit of it. I feel like a lot of it has been already talked about this weekend, pretty much to the point where like it doesn't need to be, like repeated over and over and over again. But I will kind of, like update what would happen with that whole student debt relief. There was a big old Twitter fight and a Twitter thing that kind of like got sidetracked with the whole thing, because I guess Colin and Sabby have been talking about it and saying that this is going to happen, which it does make sense. And Mike Figueredo decided to turn into a complete shit lib and an asshole. But so yeah, I'll cover that a little bit. Like I said, a lot of that Sabby Sabs, Mike Figueredo stuff kind of has already been talked about a lot. So I want to go into what actually happened, like the student debt relief, what really actually happened. There is, I have 2 videos for that. It sucks, but I mean, like, it doesn't really suck. It kind of sucks a little bit, but the only like video that I actually found of any kind of like, decent information without the side drama that happened was Jimmy Dore talking about it. And then Jimmy Dore at the end says something, and I also got another news thing where Nancy Pelosi was on a news channel this weekend talking about this whole thing. So definitely going to go into that. Yeah, exactly. Mike Figueredo is a shit lib for sure. You support the Ukrainian people, but I also support Russia defeating the Ukrainian military. I'm just completely anti-war. I'm not on any side. I don't want fighting or dying or anything. I feel like we live in 2022 and there just shouldn't be war, period. I feel like, we're so technologically and mentally advanced that there's just no reason to keep living lives and forcing people to live their lives in this type of like archaic battle, you know, environment. I just don't, I'm super, super anti-war no matter what it is. So yeah. But yeah, you're right. Mike Figueredo is a shit lib. Oh, it is a movie? Okay. It's a book by Ayn Rand. Interesting. I've never heard of that. Also that I've other things that I've got, hopefully we'll be able to make it through a lot of this stuff. Midterm updates, what's going on, who's got the House, how many people got the Senate, you know, all that stuff. Thank you, Whip Brandy. Yeah, exactly. I know it's really, really sad, but yeah, I don't even care. Like, just anti-war, please, just stop. We're way too advanced to be doing this kind of, you know, I don't know, like caveman shit. So, but yeah, the midterm update, what's going on with that, maybe catch up on like who's winning, who's losing. And then also just something I read this morning. It does seem it's kind of wishy-washy to kind of figure out what it is, but it sounds like what Shoe on Head was saying this morning was that Canada is allowing, they call the MIAD, MAID service for mental health people. So MAID is assisted suicide, assisted death. Usually it's for older people or people who have like really, really bad situations to where, you know, they're pretty much just going to die. And they're allowing, it seems like Canada is allowing people with mental health issues like depression and stuff to be allowed this. So we're going to kind of research it, look at it in an unbiased way, and kind of figure out what is actually happening. And that's all I've got for today. There's like 8 things that we can watch. I'm only going 3 hours starting this week. I'm going to try to take off an hour. That way, when our new, well, not new, but when our 2 other shows start, they'll have a little bit extra time, and then I'll have a little bit extra time to be able to clip at the end of the show and be able to release it without really interrupting with the boys' shows at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, which is going to be starting soon. I know that Joe Evans is already doing his shows Tuesdays and Thursdays here at 6 p.m. But I believe starting next week, he was supposed to start this week, but we didn't want him to start like halfway through the week. We want him to start like on a Monday. So starting next week, Denard English is going to be starting his show on here. He's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So we'll have, you know, Denard on Monday, then Joe, then Denard, then Joe, then Denard. So we'll have those boys are doing their shows at 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Starting next week. Joe is already starting his Tuesdays and Thursdays show. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I want to give them some extra time so that way they don't have to worry about me interrupting with their show. And I want to make sure that when I clip up my videos and then release them, it's not like overlapping with their times. And I've got that extra hour leeway, because I feel like when I end at 2, I'm like rushing to get things done. So like I'm not done till 4 or 5, and then they start their show at 6. And it just seems like I don't have enough time. So if I take off another hour for today and only do a 3-hour show, I feel like I have that extra hour to be able to, you know, release and do all that. I was looking at our analytics this morning. It looks like we are up to 951 subscribers. I'm so excited. We've been working our little tushy off here, trying to get to the monetization point on YouTube. We only, like I said, we only need 49 more, which is really exciting. Like, I'm seriously about to just like create 49 different Gmail accounts just so I could do that. But I literally do not want to make 50 Gmail accounts. That's absolutely ridiculous. But it's really, really cool. We're almost there. I'm really excited to see us starting to grow again. It's been really nice after this like 8 months of just kind of, you know, staying low, staying quiet, you know, trying not to make too much of a I don't even know, too much of a noise. So it's nice to finally see us come back to life again here at KRTD. So good morning, Shake and Bacon. Look at it. It's our fearless leader. That's what I don't know if you were here earlier when I was talking about the video games, but me and Les Bones officially are calling you our fearless leader in the game, because we were playing yesterday and we're scared of everything. We need you in the game. You're like, you're the guy that's like, okay, we need to pass this guy, this thing to get to the next point. And you're always just like, let's go, let's kill it, let's do it. And we're like, okay, we're coming. Okay, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But you're like our fearless leader. You definitely help us, man. Yesterday we were like running from everything, but we got so far yesterday. Me and Les Bones ended up finding the hedge lab. We got the super chip for the robot. Like we ended up going over to the hedges, and there's this whole new area. I can't wait to take you over there, Shake and Bacon. You're gonna have like so much fun. You're gonna have a fucking blast. Me and Les Bones just found a whole new area yesterday. I can't wait to show you. It's gonna be so much fun for you to see the new area that we've discovered. We've discovered a couple of new areas in the game. I like pinpointed, I put markers there so that way you can go and check it out. But it looks like we're going to be able to put like super bases in other areas of the map, which is going to be so much fun. I can't wait for you to see the going in the hedges when in the hedge area. Such a fucking blast. We also made some gas masks. So that way we can go into the gassy areas too. So me and Les Bones hooked it up for you to for when you play next. So it's going to be really, really, really fun. The rich have to turn the peasants of the world against each other so we don't turn against them. Yeah, exactly. Purpose of war. Good morning also. Yeah, Six died in Dallas. Thanks for the update and all these great shows. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for doing everything that you're doing. If you need any help with re-uploading and all that stuff on your page, just let me know. I know Warren's helping you out too. So if you actually need some extra help, let me know. What happened to Soft Souls in chat? Soft Souls, like as in shoe soles? I don't know who Soft Souls is. Lost the blue wrench with the old account. Oh no. Yeah, let me actually I can probably hook it up right now for you really quick. I totally forgot that that's what happens. Yeah, you got a new account, so it's definitely not going to have the blue check anymore. So what I can do is go in here. Jesus Christ. Thanks, Holly. I had no idea that there was another racist person in here. Okay, so there's Yona. Add moderator. There you go. Okay. You are now moderator again. You are good to go. Okay, so there was also a story recently about the Canadian Veterans Affair pushing suicide on a soldier with PTSD, and the soldier refused multiple times. Yeah, see the PTSD. It's like, it seems like what is happening is like mental health people are allowed to have this service now, and it's really scary to see because depression and stuff like that, man, it's whew, scary. Okay, you missed the part of the convo. I look forward to finding some new bugs. Most of them are the same, but there definitely are some new ones for sure. Brandy, what is that? Biden says Democrats will not be able to pass abortion rights legislation. Yeah, can you send that to me in Slack or something? I'd definitely love to read that. How funny. Half-Life. I have not played that game in so long. I remember that game back in like the early 2000s. It was like a lot of fun back when the internet was still like the wild, wild west. Oh, do you like the game too? Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Steve. Good to see you. Good to see everyone this morning. Man, I feel like I don't even, I've got like, my bong and everything. My husband ended up buying me a new bowl, so I'm able to use my bong again because I know last week it ended up breaking like live on the stream. So he bought me a new down stem or a new bowl. I'm excited. So I'm able to smoke again, but I can't even smoke because I'm like I feel really sick. So like even just because I feel like I got a cold, I feel like I'm already, got that haze in my mind, so I'm like, I barely even need to smoke. Like, I already feel like I'm stoned constantly because of this sickness. This cold is ridiculous. It is absolutely brutal today or this week. So I'm on like day like day 2.5, and that's what my husband said is like the worst of the worst right now is the first couple of days. So I'm on day 2.5. I'm hoping it'll end soon. Hopefully it'll end soon. I'm hoping it's not gonna, be too bad. So I decided, let's see, we can start with I have first is the University of Virginia shooting and what happened with that. Let me make sure. Okay, it is the right one. I want to okay, good. Thank you. Brandy, I will go and check it out. I remember my friend had to download Half-Life and dial up and it took a weekend, but it was worth it. See, I got lucky enough my friend had it on his laptop, so I was able to play. But man, those were some good old days. Those are some fun times. Thank you, Steve. I'm a tough it out kind of person. It's my husband that I worry about the most. He's, you know how men are. They get sick and they turn into big old babies. So I'm a female, so we get sick and it's just like, all right, that's it, like time to buckle down and try to tough it out as much as I can. So I'm toughing it. I'm doing what I can. I am looking for it in Slack, Brandy. I am not seeing it. Where did you send it to me? Because I am not. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in Slack. Oh, you're welcome. Of course, anytime. You're absolutely worth it. Okay, you're gonna go back to work? Okay. Have a good day at work. Don't work too hard. Are you wearing one of your cool wigs today? Because I love that shit. I love seeing Brandy. Brandy changes her hair like women change their underwear and they change their moods. And I fucking love it. I'm so jealous. Like she seriously makes me want to like cut my hair really short so I can wear wigs all the time. I've always loved wigs. I love the fact that you can change your look every day and be something completely different. Like one day you can have like like she has like the short pink hair, and then the next day you've got like this long blonde hair. It's just so fun. I love being it. I want to wear a wig so fucking bad. Like I want wigs. I so want wigs. In Facebook Messenger? Okay. I have to go into Facebook Messenger. Okay, thank you, Brandy. Definitely am going to check. Is it it's like a second article to the same thing about, oh yeah, Biden says Democrats will not be able to pass abortion rights. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that next after the UVA shooting. I figure we could start that off first since that's the big headline this morning right now. Seems to be like the newest thing that's going out. So yeah, definitely we will talk about that. Where do I have Biden? Okay, down at number 5. Okay, definitely we'll add that to the list of reading. I'll read that first before I even start watching any videos and stuff. Man, there's like all kinds of ads on here as well. It's nuts. So I guess last night or early this morning, here, you know what? Let's just start watching. That way we can start talking about this. So this is about the UVA shooting this morning. North Korea, off topic. You once said you worked for Hustler. Did you actually watch people doing the deed? And if so, how did you handle it? It's graphic. You kind of, I guess you become desensitized to it. It's just, see, the thing is like a lot of it's acting. So a lot of the stuff that you see in it, when you're watching it as like, you buy the DVD and you watch it as a consumer, I know it feels, real and like super personal and all that stuff, but you have to remember that these are paid actors. Um, these women are making like a grand a piece each time they're on there on the at the set. The men are making roughly around the same amount. So it's acting. It's a job, So no matter how uncomfortable you feel while it's going on, um, whenever something happens and there's a cut, they're just acting like they're just sitting there being normal, waiting for them to say action again, and then they continue. So it's all acting pretty much. It's not a lot of these stars have their own significant other and their own lives. So to them, this is their job. So it's all, you know, funny, and it's business and it's work for us. Uh, I would feel even more embarrassed for the people that are doing it themselves, like the actors and the actresses, just because of the having to be out there bare and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's not like the graphicness. Yes, it's graphic, but once you're an adult, everybody has sex. It's just what we do, and I've just learned to desensitize myself to the view of it. It doesn't hit me as much as it does like with regular people when they, hear it or see it in another room and stuff like that. It's not awkward to me at all. It's just something natural and normal. So it's not a big deal. And like I said, a lot of these things, like especially in Hustler, a lot of it's acting. Even when like I did like the squirting MILFs one, there was one of the ladies in there that did a lot of squirting, and she was a professional the whole time. She talked about how this is what she does. This is her profession. She's practiced her whole life as an adult, learning how to, perfectly squirt. So it's their jobs. It's that sorry, oops. I always keep hitting my microphone. It's their job. It's, their talent, their skill. It's what they do. So, we all come into the set knowing that this is our job and we enjoy doing our job. They enjoy doing their job, and it's all work. So that's how you kind of get to be able to watch and look, is you get desensitized to it. I think the only time you're not really desensitized is like the smell sometimes, because even though porn stars are porn stars, not everybody's perfect. So sometimes, smells and stuff like that can get to you. Especially like even in the trans world too, you get desensitized. I think the only thing that even really remotely like even bothers anybody on set is usually like the smells, I think, but that's about it, and they're really respectful about that too. If somebody has let's say a woman is doing it and she's got a yeast infection and she doesn't realize it and the smell is there, they'll be very respectful, and they'll go to the girl privately and let her know that she needs to go to a doctor, and make sure that, she's all okay and good and stuff. So, and they're very, very respectful about all of that. So it's definitely not as what people think it is. Whatever you imagine and your fantasy is of behind the scenes is not anything what you think it is. So did I know that a lot of Marxists are pro-gun? Did you know that if you go further left in American politics, you get your guns back? I'm very extremely, extreme liberal, but I still have guns, so I'm all right with it. I'm pro-gun. I'm just not pro like a lot of guns. I'm just like it when I see pictures of like families who have like the amount of guns cost more, or that the amount of guns that they have cost more than like, the mortgage on their house or how much their house is worth. That to me is just like, whoa, that's a little too much. Like you see those like American families that do like the Christmas photo ops with like all their guns around and their kids are holding guns. That's where I'm just like, you're a little too much. Like, I can understand having a gun in your house for like protection and stuff like that, but when it starts to become an obsession and a hobby, that's where I'm just like, all right, you're a little, a little too gun happy, and I don't like that. So Luigi is a secret incel. Uh-oh. You be careful, Luigi, because I make fun of incels over here a little bit. I'm just kidding. How do I get all these weird ass people in my comment section? Like, who the fuck is North Korea socialist? So funny. Okay. All right. So this weekend, or I guess last night, at the University of Virginia, there was a shooting. This part right here was released a little bit earlier this morning, so it was saying the suspect is at large. I do have another one afterwards where they did get the suspect, I believe, right? I have two. Yeah, okay. They did end up finding the suspect, so no, definitely not insulting you. I'm just wondering, like, who are you guys? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy because I saw like there was like a super racist comment up here by somebody named the Ku Klux Klan, which thank you, Holly, for deleting. I understand. Then we got like stinky souls. It's just weird. It's just definitely different. I'm not used to like Luigi, and then Mario comes in. It reminds me of Yona's comment section what was it, this weekend on Saturday night. Yona's comments was off the fucking chain. Like, I think it was just one person with multiple accounts, because it's what it felt like, because none of them were on at the same time. But there was like Vladimir Putin, there was Jordan Peterson, there was like a bunch of different like legit ass like politicians and big people's names that was in the comment section, like with a picture that matched, and they were just sitting there talking shit about each other, like how Putin doesn't like Donald Trump and like they need to like hook up, and it's absolutely nuts, like where all these random people come. Yeah, exactly. Donald Trump was there. So no, you didn't see it because it wasn't racist or anything. It was just there's somebody that was in our comment section earlier that's name was Ku Klux Klan, so Holly just deleted it. I still see it in my comments in mine, but she deleted the comment. I keep telling that person, like, I don't mind, them being here. I don't mind them saying hi. That's totally cool. I'm always up for, meeting people and talking, just talking to people. It's just, I can't put his thing up because that's just crazy racist, but yeah. He didn't say anything racist though. He just said, hey, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I'm absolutely surprised by the randomness because I just started this show. Like, I literally just started this show here on KRTD October 1st. So I've been doing it for like a month and a half. So I've been used to like my friends coming in here, my supporters, people that I have been working with and that know me over the years. This is my first time really doing things consistently on screen all the time. For the last, I'd say, 6 or 7 years, I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I'm a video editor, graphics designer. Not a lot of people have really, seen my face when it comes to my work over the last few years. Obviously, the people that know me have seen my face because I don't mind being friends with people. That's like my, I enjoy making new friends. But it's just, I've been behind the scenes for so long that when I started doing this on screen and being out in the front, I'm just so used to like my own people. So seeing new people, I'm just like, wow, this is interesting. Like, I'm curious and I'm interested, but I'm also a little wary. Like, I'm worried, I get, cause like I said, I'm very behind the scenes. I'm very shy. I don't really like to be in front of a camera too much, too often. So I'm just like, I'm trying to, and I'm a big people watcher. I'm big on like, watching people and learning people. So I'm trying to figure you all out. I'm trying to figure out if you're like legit people who are, you know, like legit, or are you like eventually going to turn into trolls? I just don't know what's going to happen, so I'm trying to figure you out, and it's interesting because I've never had this before. This is new to me, so just throwing that out there. Good morning, Amber. Good to see you. Talking about some of my friends. Absolutely love Amber. Known her for pretty much the whole entire 6-7 years that I've been doing all of this stuff. So Amber definitely knows. But good to see you, Amber. Thank you for sharing the video out this morning and making sure that the team shares it out this morning. Super appreciated. You guys remember, check out Amber Lee. She throws up clips of the Untouchables on the weekends. So if you guys want to check her out, here at KRTD, we release some videos from like the con guys throughout the weekend. She's the one that handles that. So you guys want to definitely check that out. That's a lot of really interesting stuff. We had Roseanne Ravioli Miele come on a couple of weeks ago to talk about what's going on with all of this, an event that they had. And what they're all about. So Amber is a big part of all of that, knows those people really well, and is helping release that stuff so that more people can see it. So she's definitely doing some good work. Amber is like my superhero. I love her to death. So, okay. Let's see about the news now. See, I had like I look at the numbers too, like how many the people that are watching. Oh, look, it looks like there's somebody on the Twitch. Good to see you, whoever is over on the Twitch. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. The Untouchables sounds like a channel that an incel would enjoy. It's yeah, I know. I didn't really like the name of it either. That's I guess they have a show on another channel called The Untouchables, but they also do something like The Con, I believe. They do a lot of like where the Fed and the raising the interest rates and how the Fed is unfettered and not regulated and stuff like that, and how the Fed is like the government is allowing the Federal Reserve to be able to make financial decisions for our country instead of like MMT based stuff. So it's pretty good. It's not too bad. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. They could use a girl in there once or twice, but you know, yeah, no. Okay. So let's start watching. Oh, here, I gotta start over again because if I'm gonna clip this, I gotta clip this out right. So again, you were just teasing. Okay. So this weekend or last night, this morning, deadly shooting at the University of Virginia. 3 people were killed. They were on a manhunt for the suspect. So here is the video, one of the video clips about what is going on.
Manhunt underway after shots were fired at the University of Virginia. This is a breaking story from overnight. At least 3 people have been killed.
And police say the gunman is a student, armed and dangerous. Let's go to Alex Littlehales from our Virginia affiliate, WVEC, who is there live on the scene for us. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Robin. The 22,000 students here at the University of Virginia still asked to shelter in place after that horrific overnight shooting near the campus grounds. As you can see behind me, still a very active investigative scene here in Charlottesville.
This morning, a massive manhunt at the University of Virginia. Authorities searching for Christopher Darnell.
Yeah, no, I agree. I absolutely. Yeah, no, that's what those guys seem like they are for sure, is like the libertarian types, which that's what's so great about here at KRTD is that we have all different levels of or different party affiliations and theories and opinions here at KRTD. So like me, you know, I'm extremely liberal. Doesn't mean that I don't have conservative thoughts. I was raised conservative. I was raised Christian. I've only became really liberal around 2015, 2016. So I still have like a lot of the brainwashing of the conservative libertarians in my head. I was a libertarian. My first time ever wanting to vote for president was for Rand Paul back in, what was it, like 2003 or 2004. So I know what they think. But no, so now I am very, very much like an extreme liberal, but also like Monday or Tuesdays and Thursday nights here, we have Joe Evans, who is a libertarian. Then we've got Amber, who does the Con Guys, who are libertarian. And then we also got next week starting his show is Denard English, who I believe he is a liberal. So we have quite a few different types of party affiliations and beliefs and opinions and stuff. And that's what I like about here, is that you get to see all different kinds of or sides of opinions on the same issues or even some different issues. So when it comes to like at least my own beliefs, I like to look at, I believe in the theory of there's one side of the story and there's another side of the story, and then there's a truth in between. And sometimes there's even 3 or 4 sides to the story, and the truth is right in the middle. So that's what I love about here at KRTD, is that we got these different sides of opinions. And so we get to learn the different sides and opinions. And so we can take it into our own mental processing and say, okay, this is what this person says. This person says this person says this. And now I'm going to come to my own conclusion from all of these different facts and these different opinions from these different sides, which that's what I love about it. So that's what's so cool about this place. Yeah, exactly. Like a left-wing libertarian on the political compass test. Yeah, exactly. Because federally, nationally, I'm extremely liberal. But like when it comes to state taxes and state funding, I'm a little bit more conservative, just because I live in a very liberal state. And I know that like I'm very liberal with the fact that I think that we should be taking the money that we tax the people on and putting it into good services. So the reason why I am slightly fiscally conservative when it comes to state-wise is because I know that the state taxes that they get from us to pay for things doesn't ever go the way where it should go. So that's why I'm a little bit leaning on the conservatives when it comes to fiscally and state-wise, is because I would love for us to be able to pay for things to help benefit society, but most of our taxes usually don't go where we want to. So I'm just like, you know what, then you ain't taking my fucking taxes, California. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. And see, there's a difference between liberals and leftists. Socialists oppose liberals. See, now this is where I can't understand, because the fact is, okay, yes, liberal, the word liberal or the word liberal has been co-opted by the Democrats with like the whole neoliberal whatever. And it's still hard for me to think, because when you hear the word liberal, you think of free, open. You look at the textbook definition of liberal, and that's not what these Democrats are. So to me, I keep hold of, at least I still personally hold on to the word liberal in hopes that maybe we can take it back one day. The name of us on that side, on the left side, keeps changing so much because the Democrats keep co-opting names for us that we don't really have anything left. I mean, we don't have progressive, we don't have liberal, we don't have lefty, we don't have anything anymore. So what are we supposed to be? Like, what are we supposed to be called? I mean, I'm not going to be like, the Bernie Sanders left or anything like that. So what can we be called? Democrats keep taking everything, and then people keep saying that the Democrats are like liberals now, and that wasn't even their term when it started. So what do we do? What do we call ourselves then? Like, what can we call ourselves without people saying, well, there's a liberal socialists don't like liberals because liberals are now Democrats. Like, no, liberals are liberals. Like, Democrats are Democrats to me, at least in my own head, in my own opinion. I don't listen to any of those people that are like, liberals are Democrats now and they're blah, blah, blah. No, I feel like I'm a lefty. I'm a liberal. progressive. I don't know. It's super confusing and it sucks, but I hope one day we can take it back as our own. You agree on the fiscal stuff? It's hard to convince people that taxes are good when they're constantly giving money to billionaires and to create war. Yeah, I mean, at least on the statewide, federally, like nationally, yeah, no, that's why that's a whole different like MMT explanation, but I understand what you're trying to say. So liberals are center left and pro-capitalist. See, but that sucks because when I first started getting into the liberal side in 2015, 2016, or at least the lefty side, we were liberals. That's what we were. We were liberal. We were, liberals. God, I'm saying it so much now it's starting to sound wrong. And it's just changing so much, like what do we got left? What do we have left to even say? Neoliberal is about markets, both sides of the aisle. Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you want to be Bernie Sanders left? I used to want to be Bernie Sanders left, but Bernie has been running centrist a lot lately. Him voting for giving, blank paychecks to Ukraine and becoming a sheep herder for the Democratic Party definitely has made me not, I especially recently that something happened with Bernie where he said something and I'm just, the anti-war protesters like Jose Vega went up to Bernie and asked him why you're supporting this Ukraine Russian war. And the first thing that Bernie asked was, who paid you or who's paying you? Was it the Russians? And so I've lost a lot of respect for Bernie from a lot of that. So it's hard to say like Bernie Sanders left when Bernie Sanders isn't even left anymore. He's more like a sheep herder for the Democratic Party. So I've lost a lot of respect for Bernie. Can't really trust anything he does anymore. It was great while he was a hero. It made us feel a lot of hope. But how many times in history have people felt hope and then just been shut off? We had in 2000, we had Al Gore. Back in the mid 1900s, we had that Wallace guy who was going to be vice president. Every time we, at least the progressive side, we have a chance to, have our fantasies come to fruition, something happens. We had FDR and then he dies. So right before he, started his New Deal. So it just feels like there's no hope anymore. Like it's just every time there's a little bit of hope, it gets squashed. Same with Bernie. Like we got squashed and now we're starting to see how much of a shitlib he actually is. So it kind of sucks. Labels have pretty much lost all meaning. Exactly. Like, what do we call ourselves now? I don't think we should take back the word liberal. We should be proud to call ourselves leftists. I don't see a problem with it, right? When the pandemic hit, Bernie essentially said, this is not the time to fight for Medicare for all. I knew he was fake and weak. Yeah, absolutely. I think you can accurately be described as a social democrat. Look it up if you're curious. Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, because I'm not a Democrat. I don't want to be called a Democrat. I feel more like I'm not a social democrat. I'm a democratic socialist is what I consider myself, with maybe like a tinge of like communist in there, because I'm definitely like for the people owning the means of productions and working towards the betterment of everybody else, including yourself. Like when you're doing something to help benefit other people, everybody else is doing stuff to benefit you as a society. I think of myself more like a democratic socialist because I'm not a Democrat. So liberal is now centrist. I know, it's so stupid. The Democrats have called themselves New Democrats or Third Way since Bill Clinton. The Dem Party moved to the right. Socially liberal, fiscally conservative, very resident to learning MMT. Yeah, exactly. They need to learn some MMT. For sure need to learn it. That's what's crazy. That's what's even more crazy is there's like people in office that know MMT, and it's like they just don't say anything, you know, like they don't show the rest of the politicians like this is exactly how it goes. So we've got like half the politicians in office saying like you need your taxes and your taxes fund this and this is where your taxes are going, but then you got like the other half that are just completely silent, allowing these people to say that kind of stuff, knowing full well that our taxes actually don't fund the spending nationally. It's wild to me how even people like AOC and Bernie can just sit there and stay silent and let, you know, I don't know, these conservative politicians to just kind of be like, no, this is, we need your taxes and blah, blah, blah. It's wild to me. Yeah. So just to be clear, the Social Democrat has nothing to do with the Democrat Party. Democrat has multiple meanings. You know, I might do that one day, is like maybe just sit down, watch videos and do like a super research on like specifics of everything to kind of figure out where I am. But right now, like I'm you know, tossed up. I'm in like limbo when it comes to trying to figure out where I am. I don't physically or even anything want to be labeled as anything, because everything is just misconstrued and manipulated into meaning different things. Like I said, I believe I'm just up in limbo trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. So trying to figure out, all right, let all of you parties and stuff figure out what you want to be called, and then I'll figure out where I fit in later on that part. So okay, yes, please, can we please get to back to the I'm gonna have to cut that whole part out.
Jones Jr., a student at the university who police allege shot at least 5 people on this campus bus, killing 3.
I have 2 people shot. One person's at the UVA box office, lay down, and one person's at the Culver garage, shot in the chest. Another woman shot, where you shot at? In her leg.
The shots first reported at 10:30 p.m. at a garage near the center of campus.
I heard the gunshots when they originally happened. I'm terrified. I have no words. I never thought I'd be in that kind of situation. It's like I'm calling my family, my friends.
The university canceling all classes for the day as frightened students shelter in place.
I've just been up here because I don't want to go downstairs with an active shooting and suspects still not found.
The suspect last seen wearing a burgundy jacket, blue jeans, and red shoes, and may be driving a black SUV with a Virginia license plate.
It's sad that we have to go through this as college students. It's always been a fear of mine growing up.
The UVA Athletics website lists the suspect as a one-time member of the football team back in 2018, but he did not play any games. His player bio also says he was a member of the National Honor Society. Robin?
All right, Alex, appreciate your reporting.
So very, very smart kid. The shooter, at least, very intelligent, part of the honors thing. Also was playing football or was on the football team but never got to play, which I know that's got to suck for him. So let's watch this second one where they actually got the suspect.
Last night, and police say the shooter is now in custody. At least 3 people were killed and 2 others were hurt. We're live on air and always streaming on CBS News Miami with the CBS News app. Good afternoon. I'm Maribel Rodriguez. CBS 4's Deborah Alfarone reports from Charlottesville, Virginia.
The manhunt in Charlottesville, Virginia is over. Police say they have captured shooting suspect Christopher Darnell Jones Jr.
We just received information the suspect is in custody.
He's accused of killing 3 people and wounding 2 others last night at the University of Virginia.
Upon arrival at the scene, University police encountered several victims of gunshot wounds. The shootings occurred on a bus full of students returning from a field trip.
University officials say Jones is a student who played on the football team in 2018, his freshman year.
3 of the victims did not survive. They were Devin Chandler, a second year from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Lavelle Davis, a third-year student from Ridgeville, South Carolina, and Deshaun Perry, a fourth-year student from Miami, Florida. All 3 were members of the football team.
In an email to the campus community, the school's president said, quote, "I am holding the victims, their families, and all members of the University of Virginia community in my heart today. Other schools in the area are also closed for the day." Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Charlottesville, Virginia.
And as you just heard, one of those students was from South Florida. CBS 4's Austin Carter is at the alert desk gathering those details. Austin?
Yeah, Maribel, you just heard it there. That local victim has been identified as Deshaun Perry. He is from Miami. Let's show you some pictures of Deshaun here. The 22-year-old was a linebacker and defensive end for UVA's football team. The 22-year-old before that graduated in 2019 from Gulliver Prep, a private school in Pinecrest, where he also played football. Now, Deshaun was named the South Florida Conference's 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. I was just listening into a news conference with police and university officials. It just wrapped up a few minutes ago. The president of UVA was asked about the suspect who at one time was also on the football team.
He was still a student, but to my knowledge, he was no longer on the football team and hadn't been on the team for over a year.
And we're told Deshaun's parents are flying into Virginia today. Maribel.
Yeah, it's a very
the big story this month.
It's a very touchy thing. I can't even I couldn't even guess what was going on in the guy's head with all of that. I couldn't even imagine being a part of the football team and coming back from a field trip and having to deal with or having to experience that. It's very scary. It sucks. This is America now, this is how it is. And it sucks. It's bullshit. Definitely probably going to find out, the motive behind it soon enough now that the guy has been arrested and detained. So we'll figure it out. My heart goes out to those family members and the people that are hurt. I hope that they can recover, and I hope that the families of the victims can mourn and be able to get the justice that they deserve. And I believe I don't have too much on it. That I think that's pretty much all I can bring, at least with my own opinion on it, because it's still new news. Not a lot of information has come out about it yet, except for that. I've looked everywhere, and that's pretty much the gist of it. A lot of the videos that are out there are only 30 seconds long, so there's not too much out there about it. So yeah. Now, Brandy gave me some really good stuff, and I want to at least start it off with this, so that way we can talk about it, and then watch some videos about the whole thing. So weird, interesting. I mean, obviously it's interesting. We kind of already knew it. The Democrats love to do this, which they really enjoy doing, which is taking an issue, a hot topic issue that people are really passionate about, which this time around, one of them was student cancellation, student debt cancellation. And what the Democrats did during a couple months up to the midterms, they decided that they were going to cancel student debt and talk about canceling student debt and offering, students, saying that we're going to do it for it. So that way people can go and vote Democrats, so they can keep themselves in office and keep themselves in the majority. And then this weekend, we ended up finding out that Supreme Court actually dropped it and said that they're not going to allow it. So they waited till days after, a couple of days after the elections, to say that it's not going to happen. So all of these kids who have all this student debt went out and voted Democrat to make sure they stay in office, and the Democrats just threw them all under the bus like they always fucking do. This is exactly what they do. There was some interesting things that happened this weekend. That was Colin and Sabby were we told you, and then Mike Figueredo was coming out calling them dipshits, even though Mike Figueredo was like the one that put the post up first and was saying what the fuck, are we supposed to just deal with this? Like, how did you not realize that? Like, you've been doing this, Mike, for how many years? Like, you've been covering the news, covering Democrats, covering all of this for how many years, and you still can't see what the Democrats do? Like, how are you that blind to not be able to see what's really going on in politics? Like, you really are that blind. It's absolutely shocking to me how he could just post up something. And then when two people come up on Twitter to say, well, we said so, he calls them dipshits and like belittles them and drags them down. Like, how the fuck are you going to do that? Especially with people like Colin and Sabby who have master's degrees. Colin even has 2 master's degrees. Like, what the fuck does Mike have? Mike has what, possibly a master's in poli-sci? Because obviously that's going to show that you're not really paying attention, because also Kyle Kalinske has his master's in poli-sci, and look at what kind of a shit lib that he's turning into. Obviously, I mean, it's probably too because of the fact that he's dating Crystal Ball, who is also a shit lib, but it still doesn't help the case, you know? Like, you poli-sci people are supposed to be the ones that should understand these tricks and trades that are going on and manipulations that are going on in the political sphere. But they're like completely blind to it. And then when something happens that's obvious that they're gonna that the Democrats are gonna do, they act like a deer caught in headlights. Like, oh my gosh, what happened? Why we're supposed to just deal with this? Like, how are you gonna sit there and like, how much longer are people going to sit there and keep voting and voting for Democrats and going out and doing things for Democrats until they figure out like, this is what they do. This is exactly what they do. There has been multiple other situations where Democrats had their chance to prove themselves and they didn't. Supreme Court justices, you know, right when Obama was about to get out and Trump was about to get in, they were saying that, you know, you can't put in new Supreme Courts until the new president comes in. But then as soon as Trump was getting out and Biden was about to get in, they were like, no, we need to put this Supreme Court in before Trump gets out. Democrats just let that happen. They were just like, okay, let me bend over backwards and let you stick it up my ass and I'll just take it. That's one example. Another more recent example is the Roe v. Wade being overturned. Obama had a chance back when he was president to codify Roe v. Wade into law. I mean, how would you even expect Biden to even want to bring Roe v. Wade into law, especially with the whole Anita Hill situation back in the day? And obviously now that you look back on it too with the Obama, like, Joe Biden was his VP, there was never going to be a way that Roe v. Wade was going to be codified into law because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden's the Anita Hill guy. He doesn't give a fuck about women's rights. So back, what was it, March, April, sometime around there, May, we knew that they were going to overturn Roe v. Wade. Biden had supermajority, had majority in House and Senate, could have done something about codifying it, didn't, and allowed the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade just this summer. So there's been multiple examples how Democrats just kind of bend over backwards to the Republicans and don't really fight for people, and then pretend like they're going to fight just to get elected again. And I just don't understand how these people just can't see this. It's just been in our faces so many times. It just seems to me like they're purposely blinded by it, or they're just not paying attention enough. I don't know, but it drives me absolutely insane. Absolutely drives me insane that that they do that. The video by Amazing Atheist is great. Okay. We need to all vote in primary, be willing to temporarily re-register as Democrat, Republican, but depending on who your incumbents are, vote for their unbought or less bought challenger. That's first thing we can do to offset. And see, that's what's hard about my area, though, because in California, we only have 2 people after the primaries. The top 2 are the ones that make it. And it could be 2 Democrats. It could be 2 Republicans. It could be a Democrat and Republican. A lot of third parties usually don't get to make it past the primaries out here in California because of the two-party thing. So it kind of sucks on our part. There's been a lot of times where I voted and just had to write in people, and you feel like your vote's kind of like the one stands out, like you're all by yourself, because they just don't give you very many options. Like, what is it? The kind of voting that they have out in Illinois. I know Kit was talking about it. I always forget where you like vote for your top 3. I think that would be a lot better. But it doesn't really happen. It doesn't happen out here, so it sucks. All right. So with that being said, with the, Democrats being super annoying and stuff, here's exactly what we all thought was going to happen. A lot of us really knew that this was going to happen, minus, the the shit libs on YouTube didn't see this happening. This says Russia announces troop withdrawal. I don't want to listen to that. So in Washington, President Joe Biden said Monday that he did not expect Democrats to have enough votes in Congress to be able to pass legislation codifying Roe v. Wade. Oh, interesting. So everything that they promised during the primaries and during the main campaign obviously is not going to happen. So congratulations, all you Democratic voters. I hope you are happy with what you voted for. The point is to get rid of the incumbents, vote third party in the general. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's what it's called, ranked choice voting. We need that in California so bad, because we only get the top 2. You get to vote for one, and then the top 2 is the ones that make it past the primary. So, yeah. Democrats have multiple meanings. Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's what sucks, is they keep taking over more and more meanings to where we don't have anything left. At least like the extreme right, they got like the Trump right, the Trumpian right, even though it's very idolizing towards a single person. It's very culty, where like you've got this golden cow that you're idolizing. We don't want that on the left side, but there's got to be something for us, at least us people in limbo, the ones that don't really have a party. Maybe we just don't need any we don't need any stereotypes or labels. So asked at a press conference in Bali, Indonesia, what Americans could expect Congress to do on abortion access, Biden said, I do not think they can expect much of anything other than we're going to maintain our positions. Right. They're going to pretend. Oh, this is abortion rights legislation. Wait a minute. This is a whole different one than the student debt relief. Dang. Sheesh. All right. Get it, Brandy. All right. So he says, I don't think there's enough votes to codify unless something happens unusual in the House. I think we're going to get very close in the House, but I don't think we're going to make it. Exactly what he wanted. Exactly what the Democrats wanted. Although control of the House remains unresolved as vote counting continues in the midterm elections, Republicans remain the favorite to control of the chamber by narrow majority. Democrats have kept control of the Senate, but passed a bill through the chamber would likely require 60 votes, which would necessitate about 10 Republicans supporting it. There's that holding back that we expect. Exit polls show that abortion was a major motivating issue for voters. Although Democrats performed surprisingly well in the midterm elections, Biden's remarks on Monday underscore the limitations of his policy agenda going forward as he adjusts to what will likely be a divided Congress. Well, then you should have fucking worked harder when you had the majority. That's your fault. You guys keep doing this. I will always repeat, look up the ratchet effect. This is exactly what they plan to do. This is exactly what they want. So at the same press conference, Biden said that the midterm elections demonstrated the strength and resilience in American democracy through voters' strong rejection of election deniers at every level. No, they wanted their things to be passed, as in Roe v. Wade, student debt relief, things like that, which now you are officially taking back. So what these elections showed is that there's a deep, unwavering commitment in America to preserving and protecting and defending democracy. I hate how they do that. Like, you guys sit there and take it up the ass from Republicans, but then you need to defend democracy. There's no more democracy left in America. We are an autocracy. We're an oligarchy. And you guys know it. And then you put in these floofy words to make us think that just stop believing in these people and what they have to say. Biden is currently traveling overseas. I already know that. Said that throughout his trip, it has been clear just how closely the world, our allies, and competitors are as well. We have been following our elections at home. He is disgusting. That is horrible. I can't believe that he is still, people still listen and are okay with him. It's horrible. I hate it. So I don't have any other like videos except for that at least was talking about the student debt relief and the courts blocking it, except for a video that Jimmy Dore did. He's like pretty much the only one that's talking about it without bringing in like all the extra Mike Figueredo drama that came in with it. Amazing. Is there a way that you can like send that to me? I have no idea. I'd have to Google it and figure it out while this is playing, maybe. I think they shouldn't have a party affiliation on the ballots, make people actually learn about yeah, that would be great. Yeah, exactly. Defend democracy. Hey, yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, let me look up. I don't know who the amazing atheist is, so I'm going to have to look him up while this plays. But here's at least a good example of what happened during this situation. And then once he's done, I'm going to bring up a news clip from Nancy Pelosi talking about exactly what Jimmy Dore says at the end, which I thought was really interesting. That Jimmy Dore was kind of right on this because even Nancy Pelosi said so later on. So here is the Jimmy Dore student debt relief.
That right before the election, right?
Ben Glebe said it.
Ben Glebe said it here. Our good friend Ben, the very funny comedian Ben Glebe, said that that's why the Democrats were a little bit better than the Republicans, just a little, because they were going to do student debt relief. But Joe Biden knew that he couldn't do that, and he knew it would get overturned in court, and that's exactly what happened. It got overturned in court. So he knew it wasn't going to happen. Just like he wasn't going to give you $2,000 checks, and he wasn't going to free anybody from prison for marijuana, and he wasn't going to give you a $15 minimum wage. Well, he's not going to give you debt relief either, and he knew he wasn't going to. And you know how I know that they all knew that he wasn't going to? Because Nancy Pelosi knew that he wasn't going to. You want to hear this?
People think that the President of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know? Will you let me know? People think.
By the way, she's not drunk. It just sounds like she is. Come up and see me sometime, big boy.
That the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
So just for the dumb vote blue no matter who idiots, and for Kyle Kalinske and the people over at Breaking Points, I guess, the Biden administration knew all along that the student debt was unconstitutional.
We gotta follow the Constitution.
And Biden wanted it to be unconstitutional. He wanted it. He knew it was, and that's why he did it. And now they got the votes of the Gen Z, which they did come out to vote because of this. Some of them did. And now it's overturned. District Judge Mark Pittman, a Trump appointee, ruled that the program, which would have provided borrowers with up to $20,000 in student loan relief, was an unconstitutional exercise of Congress's legislative power. As an agency, the Department of Education technically receives its authority to make rules from Congress. Since the issue of student loan forgiveness is of vast economic and political significance, Pittman found that the agency is required to show that it has a clear authorization from Congress for the program, which he ruled it did not. Whether the program constitutes good public policy or not is not the role of this court to determine. Still, no one can plausibly deny that it is either one of the largest delegations of legislative power to the executive branch or one of the largest exercises of legislative power without congressional authority in the history of the United States. Biden's debt relief program would forgive up to 10 grand in student loans for borrowers who make up to 125 grand and up to $20,000 for those who received Pell Grants.
I love how this is a violation. This violation of the Constitution will not stand. Not the policing,
Not the no.
or the torture, or the spying on
But
you.
this is the one they got to stop.
You have gone beyond the pale, sir.
I'm 100% for student debt relief. Let's just listen to what she said again.
People think that the president of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know? Will you let me know? People think that the president of the United States has.
Does anyone ever notice that she just like blah, 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 when she talks sometimes? Like, what the fuck did she just say right there? She, swear to God, I don't want to be ageist or anything, but she needs to retire.
The power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
So why didn't they say that during the elections then? During the midterm elections, why didn't they say that? Why did they let everybody just go full out and say, we're going to cancel student debt? Biden was on the campaign trails of other people saying that we're going to cancel student loan debt. He did this. You, Nancy Pelosi, and all of you guys stayed silent while he went around to say this. And now you're going to change your opinion and saying that it was unconstitutional. I hope you all are paying fucking attention. I really, really hope you're paying attention to this because I'm getting really tired of Democrats promising us things, everybody believing it, voting for them, and then they take it away right afterwards. Like, sorry, we can't do it. It's actually unconstitutional. Like, we were going to pass those other things and like the parliamentarian came in. Like, who the fuck is a parliamentarian and why? Why? This is bullshit. I hate it. Yeah, exactly. She has really bad slurred speech, like really bad. I know. It's wild to me. Wild. Just wait till we watch her when she's on the news, getting interviewed on the news in a minute when we watch that part. You just wait. Like she does fake, she like fake smiles and stuff. We'll see. Watch.
And we won't do that.
Right. And we're not going to do that. And now that they lost the congressional power, well, so they still have a lame duck session now. I wonder if they will kind of do that. Let's see if Nancy Pelosi actually does something, because it's up to Congress.
It'll be interesting to see, as my friend of the show, Ryan Kim, said.
So that right there, the whole lame duck, we're gonna hopefully see everybody still. If you still got the hope cope, as I call it, hope cope. This is pretty much what they're saying. Like, we'll see if they do it, we'll see. And so Nancy Pelosi talked about the same thing, about the lame duck thing when she was on this show. Looks like ABC News with this fool. I always forget his name. I know his last name is the same name as the elephant from... Oh my gosh. Sesame Street. It's like Snuffleupagus or something like that. Isn't that his last name? I keep forgetting. He's got a weird last name. Papadopoulos. I can't remember. But Nancy Pelosi went on this. And so we get to watch what she has to say about the whole lame duck and this whole midterm election kind of thing with everything that's going on. There you go. Wait, is it Stephanopoulos? There we go. Sorry. I always kind of like try to remember his name because it reminds me of the elephant mammoth from Sesame Street.
That's Nancy Pelosi. Madam Speaker, thank you for joining us this morning. Congratulations on the...
No, you're good, Lana. You guys keep an eye on her, okay? Keep an eye on her face obviously pay attention to his questioning, but when he's talking and she's listening, just watch her. This shit is hilarious as well. Like the way that she her fake smile compared to her real smile and her constantly looking at the camera back and forth to make sure that she's smiling properly. You guys are going to see it. Just keep your eye on Nancy Pelosi while this is going as well.
outcome on Tuesday. I know there's still a lot of votes to be counted. And we have a lot of news to get to. But before we get to that, just wanted to ask, how is your husband, Paul, doing?
Well, thank you for asking. Good morning. He's one good day after another. He's improving. It'll take a little while, but we've been so comforted by the outpouring of so many prayers and good wishes, and even people saying, I wasn't going to vote, but now I'm going to vote because this has gone too far. But thank you so much for asking. I'll convey that to him.
Please do. You know, we last spoke in September. You were confident then that the Democrats would do well, kind of a lonely voice at that time, given high inflation and President Biden's low approval ratings. How did Democrats do it?
Well, first of all, thank you for acknowledging that we had a different approach. It was not anything that we ever accepted when the pundits in Washington said we couldn't win because history. Elections are about the future. I'm very proud of our candidates. Both our incumbents as well as our red to blue candidates. They never accepted the punditry that they couldn't win. They had courage, they had purpose, and they understood their district. They also rejected calls from Washington about, oh, your message should change. No, our message was clear. People over politics, lower cost, bigger paychecks.
You hear
safer.
she said people over politics. Nice job on stealing that one to make it your own too. Like I was saying earlier, these Democrats keep stealing our things. Us, you know, real lefties, super progressives, they keep stealing our stuff. People over politics. Really? That was ours. But she's going to take that for herself to make it look like these Democrats did such a great job. Just because they got one Gen Zer in office now. They think that, oh my God, this is such a great thing. Like, bitch, I'm so sick of her acting.
Communities. And they knew the value of a woman's right to choose. They knew how important it was to protect our democracy. They knew the contrast between themselves and their opponents. And that is what made them win. It wasn't about Washington says you should change your message. Washington says you can't win. I hope that's a lesson, because really it depresses the vote sometimes when people say it's all over 18 months before the election. We never accepted that.
Now, the road to keeping the Democratic majority is still quite narrow. Democrats have to run the table on the toss-up race still out there to keep control of the House. Do you see a realistic path to victory?
Well, let me just say that it's a quite different path than everyone predicted. And I give tribute, of course, to our
absolutely, Tenzin. I completely agree. I was just talking about this earlier with the North Korea socialist in the comment section. It's like, what do we call ourselves now? Because the Democrats keep stealing our things that, like, now we're just titleless, limbo, you know, people that don't really have anything anymore because they keep stealing it. Progressive, they stole. Liberal, they stole. Lefty, they're stealing. People over politics, they're stealing. They keep stealing so much of our stuff that we don't have anything left to be able to call ourselves. So, like, what are we supposed to go around calling ourselves? Like, socialist, communist? Because it's like they're not going to call themselves that. So it's like we have to call ourselves that just to, it's kind of like a mixture of being serious and trolling a little bit, at least in my head when I say that kind of stuff, because like I say it in a serious way because I don't know anything else that we can fucking say that we have that's separate from the Democrats. But then also it's a trolling thing because we know that they're still absolutely scared of communism. Like, that's just been an American thought process for like over 100 years now. So a lot of us younger generation are like, well, then we're going to call ourselves communists because it scares you and you don't like it. And that's the one thing that we can actually still hold on to a little bit, you know, socialist, communist, things like that. Those words, those touchy words. So, yeah, conservatives used to be called classical liberals over 100 years ago. Yep. Now there's classical Republicans, which are the ones that are separating themselves from Trump. And then we also now have these Democrats who are calling themselves, you know, classical liberals, and also the neoliberals as well. Like, Nancy Pelosi calls herself probably most likely like a neoliberal, but she also has that classist liberal about her as well. And that sucks too, because liberal, like when I say, you know, I'm a Californian, so I live my life liberally. And so not being able to use that word, even though it kind of goes with my life, that sucks. It's bullshit. I shouldn't have to worry about the words that I say because a bunch of fucking corrupt Democrats have stolen it and taken it and used it as theirs. It's bullshit.
Candidates also give credit to our grassroots. There are VIPs, our volunteers in politics, millions of doors knocked. So they crossed a threshold. They leapfrogged over all the predictions and the rest. Whatever the outcome, we're on the path to
millions and millions of people knocking on doors for what? For what? What did you guys do for them? You didn't cancel student loan debt. You just ended that. You never codified Roe v. Wade into law. You haven't done shit. You have not done shit for us.
taking our country to a better place than was being dragged down by the other side. So we'll see. I'm disappointed what happened in New York. That 4 votes could make the difference at the end of the day. But we haven't.
Yeah, did you guys hear about what happened in New York? So apparently, like, one politician that actually already had the spot ran in a different district than what he was supposed to. And if he didn't do that, then those 4 areas, those 4 districts would have had all Democrats, all 4 of those districts. But because this one guy decided to run in a different district this time, where he thought he could win, he ended up losing. And so did a bunch of other people in like 3 other districts. So they ended up kind of screwing themselves over with that whole situation just because one guy was very selfish about the whole situation. I believe he was the DCC chair that ended up doing all of that, running in the different district and losing and stuff. So if anything, it's the greed of these Democrats. And instead of, I think it's funny because they really fucked themselves over there in those 4 districts in New York.
Haven't given up. And we haven't given up because of the quality of our candidates, the purpose of our why this is important. And President Biden did a great job presenting about our democracy being on the ballot. President Obama making sure people understood it was important for them to vote, even though there were those who were saying it's all over 18 months ago. So it took a great deal to get to where we are, and we'll just see. I said before, and you've heard me say when I walk in the park, it's like the Olympics. In a half a second, you can be gold, silver, bronze, or honored to be an Olympian. They would be all very close races. They continue to be. But again, we're very proud of the outcome, and we're very proud because it was a victory for the people, not the punditry, but for the people, as well as the success in Nevada is a personal joy for so many because of Harry Reid, but politically so important for the country. The president, we have the White House, we have the Senate, and we're going to have a big, strong vote in the House. A very
Sean Patrick Maloney. Yeah, that's his name. I knew I didn't want to say his last name because I was going to say Baloney because that's how I was trying to remember his name, and all I can remember was Baloney. So I didn't want to say that because I thought that would be rude. But yes, Sean Patrick Maloney is the guy that lost his district in New York that ruined it for everybody. Tenzin, I do have the video up on cue for the next one. Let me know. It does say I Love Riot, and it's from The Amazing Atheist that I have. Let me know if it's the one that was released 2 years ago, and if I'm right on that one. It's got a picture of him as the thumbnail, and his face is like half purple, half blue, and there's like, it looks like a city on fire or something in the background, and it says I Love Riots on the thumbnail. Let me know if that's the correct one, and it's definitely in the queue for next up after Pelosi. I want to get to the part on Pelosi's interview where she talks about she talks about the lame duck session and what she expects is going to happen and is going to pass or what's not going to pass during the lame duck section. I want to get to that part. And then, I'll head over to Amazing Atheists to see what you were talking about.
Different outcome than some would have predicted.
And if Democrats keep the majority, will you run again for Speaker?
I'm not right now. I've said I'm not making any comments until this election is finished and we have a little more time to go. I wish it would be faster, but it isn't.
It's going to take
Right.
some
So
time.
she's excited. So that means she's either running again, or from what we've been hearing in the rumor mill is that she's going to be stepping down and having her daughter run in her place there, which is extreme nepotism to me and reminds me of like the monarchy and the king and queen and shit, except more in like, you know, like political nepotism, congressional nepotism.
to count those votes in California, I know. How about on the other side, your Republican counterpart, Kevin McCarthy? It looks like even if Republicans do prevail, we're going to be talking about 219, 220, maybe 221 votes in the House. Can he govern with that kind of a majority?
Well, it depends on their purpose. In our House, we had those kinds of numbers, but we were united. We were very united in terms of being there for America's working families. That dominated our discussion, although we have our differences of opinion on certain issues. When it came down to the main purpose of the Democrats, America's working families, there was no question that we would win every vote that we took to the floor. And the new members coming in, again, the constant reinvigoration of the Congress that our founders intended. They are so diverse generationally, geographically, opinion, ethnically, gender ID. It's going to be a wonderful class who will be speaking so clearly to it. We have one of the youngest members, Congressman To Be Frost, coming in, and it's pretty exciting for us. So it's not just about what the ultimate vote is, it's about what the message and purpose will be demonstrated to the American people.
No, the message is not the most important. It is about the vote. It's about passing the things that we need passed, not a bunch of your like verbal fluff pieces that you need to give us. And of course, she's excited about having these new bloods coming into office because she wants to sit there and love bomb them so that way they do her bidding, just like what happened with AOC and Ilhan Omar and all the rest of the squad that ended up bending over backwards for her and calling her Mama Pelosi. She's just waiting for that shit to happen with all the rest of these new bloods. So of course that totally, when she says that kind of stuff, it reminds me of like, the first step of a cult, the love bombing. Let's love bomb you to make you feel extremely accepted and appreciated and loved here. And then you're going to follow our orders right after that.
Again, it's about our democracy. Our democracy was on the ballot. Our planet was on the ballot.
No, it wasn't.
Freedom was on the ballot. These three issues, very important to young voters, and they were very important in our success in this election.
Whatever the outcome, you said this week, quote, we need to unify. I think it's really important to restore unity to Congress. What is the Democrats' responsibility there? What steps do Democrats need to take to bring the country together?
Well, we have always been taking that step because we honor our oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, and that should be...
Stupid. She literally put her hand up and everything. Like, she's been doing it so goddamn long that it's just like natural. Like, I'm just going to show you guys how many times I've won over the last 50 years by putting my hand up because I'm so used to doing it. You are not protecting the Constitution. And anyways, protecting the Constitution shouldn't be your ultimate goal anyway, because the Constitution should always be evolving to keep up with the times and the mentality of the constituents and the citizens in the actual country. We are still living off of a constitution that was made over 200 years ago. Back when they said guns were okay because it took 15 minutes to even load a gun with one bullet. You shouldn't be. There's also is it the 14th or the 13th Amendment where slavery was taken away except for criminals and criminals in jail who get to work for slave wages. You are not protecting a constitution that is beneficial towards society. And she's just like proudly talking about how she's protecting this constitution. You're disgusting, lady.
A unifying principle for us. In many of our bills, we worked very hard.
What? Absolutely. I used to be a Christian. I know exactly what cults are. I grew up extremely religious. I know exactly how cults are. I used to go to my school every day and try to get people to come to church with me. It was ridiculous, the kind of stuff. the kind of things that you can see culty in in religions as well.
To make it bipartisan. And while the bills were bipartisan, the votes were not. So again, I go back to Abraham Lincoln. Public sentiment is everything. With it, you can accomplish almost anything. Without it, practically nothing. And the point I want to make is that when the public knows what is at stake and what is happening there, I think we will see more cooperation. Again, working together to produce a bill, but not having people vote no, take the dough, and make it look like we don't have bipartisanship, when in fact in the bill.
Vote no and take the dough. That's another thing that really stood out to me in this thing. Like, you haven't done that yourself, where you go out and say, we need to pass this. This is extremely beneficial. And then secretly, when it's time to vote, you vote no. And then the people that told you to vote no, like, you know, the really rich CEOs that help you, your donors and stuff, tell you that they don't want you to vote for it, so you vote no and you take their money. Like, you haven't done this. Your husband's a stock trader. Like, this is exactly the kind of corrupt lane that you guys would put yourselves in, Nancy Pelosi. So I don't know why you're talking about it as if it's only Republicans that do this kind of thing, because not only do you do this, but most of the people in the Democrat Party do this as well. Vote no and take the dough. I guess that's like a saying that they say in the White House, or, you know, in Congress or something. But obviously she knows it well enough because she does it. So
we do.
13th Amendment. Thank you. Yeah, the 13th Amendment. People worshiping politicians and their political teams. Most don't really care about the individual issues. Yeah, exactly. And that's the way that our culture has brought us to, is the whole, like, there's no I in team. It's the hive mentality, you know, the red, you know, this is my favorite team, whether it's sports or politics or celebrities or anything like that. Everybody has their favorite and they're that part of that team, you know, and that's it. It's definitely become a huge hive mentality problem with our citizens. And it's definitely about, like, whose party is the best. And yeah, exactly. Vote no, collect the dough. We need a t-shirt and a bumpish sticker, right? Dump the incumbents. Absolutely. We will disown people who worship the wrong political team. Yeah, I don't think that commonly happens for sports, right? True. I went to Queens and back and lived to tell the tale. Nice. Welcome. Oh, it's Warren. Good morning, Warren. I didn't even see the name tag with it. I'm just reading. Good. Well, welcome back. I'm glad that you lived through it. I don't know anything about Queens, so I'm glad you made it back, though. Oh, yeah, that's right. You had like a long day and you had to like get up super early today to head over to physical. Like, you actually had to go train at a place. So I hope it went well. I hope it wasn't too bad. I'm glad it's over. That's gotta suck. Worshipping the wrong sports team usually just results in teasing. Exactly.
But in the votes, not necessarily. Let the public know.
Before the new Congress is sworn in January, you have a lot of work to do in what will be a lame duck session in December. Probably the top of that list, extending the debt limit, because Republicans have said if they get the majority, they're going to try to force concessions from Democrats in order to extend the debt limit. Do you believe you can get either a permanent or a very large extension of the debt limit during the lame duck session?
Well, I think it would be very important for us to do so. I think it's important to note that what the Republicans have said is they're going to use the vote on the debt limit as leverage to cut Medicare and Social Security. I think the public should know that. It is a difference of opinion, and I think the public should know who's on their side on all of this. We cannot allow them to cut Social Security. It's an insurance program, as is Medicare. People pay.
She's all like, we cannot allow them to cut Medicare and Social Security. Bitch, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to allow them to do that. That's part of the ratchet effect that I talk about way too fucking much. We can't allow them. There's her little fluff words of, we're going to allow them to do it, but we're going to pretend like we're fighting to not allow it, even though we're going to allow it. So, you know, if you've been paying into Social Security, and you've been paying into your monthly Medicare, just know that they're probably going to cut it in the next 2 years, and there's nothing that Democrats are going to do about it, but they're going to pretend on screen that, you know, they are fighting for it. Just always keep out for those trigger words, you know, the fluff words. A lot of, when you're in multi-level marketing, you use a lot of these words. You're not allowed to say, like, if it's some kind of, you know, drink that you're drinking with like hyaluronic acid, or like, I don't know, you're trying to sell makeup, you usually don't say like, this is the best or this is going to work. You usually say like, this is supposed to do this in this way, like the words that they use, it could help benefit you, you know. So just keep your eye out for the fluff piece words that they're going to be using when the Dems and the Republicans decide in the next few years to cut Social Security and Medicare or Medicaid. Just remember to look for those trigger words that they like to say. We can't allow this to happen. We hope that they don't do this. We're asking them to not to not cut these. Those are going to be the trigger words that we need to keep an eye on, because it just means that they're not actually trying, and they're just pretending to tell people that they're trying. Good morning, Lula. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you from Cape Town. That's right. Okay. Yeah, have a good one. If you want to hang out and play some video games today, let me know. I'm totally down. After show's over. Obama tried to cut Social Security in 2013. Yeah. Well, that's the whole problem with the whole ACA as well, the whole Obamacare. It was supposed to be, when it was released and first put out, it was released as Medicare for all. And then the Democrats, including Obama, allowed Republicans to take over the bill, change it up, put in what they wanted. Democrats took it up the ass again in the same way that they are now and said, okay, fine, that's how it is. And now we have the ACA, which is what it is now. And it's not really that good. You know, you're paying what, $200-300 a month just to end up having to co-pay for fucking a hospital visit anyway. So it's wild. Yeah. Good morning, Cape Socialist. Good to see you. On the phone as we're doing a scheduled rolling power outage. Jeez. Yeesh. That's crazy. Yeah, towards end of 2 hour, towards 2 hour cut. Jeez. I know how that feels. I live in an unincorporated mountain area, and anytime storms come in, we lose electricity. I think what was it, last week I did a show and I think I lost electricity like 3 times during my show. It was horrible. Obamacare was not presented as Medicare for all. In a way, yeah, it was at the beginning. It was. They just changed a lot of the wordage back then. At least that's what I heard. You might be right. Like I said, there's a lot of things I still have to learn. It's just from what I heard over the years that it was presented as like Medicare for all, but then they just kind of broke down the bill and took it and broke down a lot of the verbiage on it to make it more beneficial and capitalist for them and their pharmaceutical buddies. But you might be right. I might be wrong. I'm still learning. I'm not perfect.
Into it, and the Republicans cannot use it as leverage to say, we'll only lift the debt ceiling if you will reduce the benefits for our seniors and others on Medicare and Social Security. So it will see what they contend that they want to do. But our best shot, I think, is to do it now. But again, winning the Senate gave us a lot of leverage for how we go forward if we don't do it in the lame duck. But my hope would be that we could get it done in the lame duck.
How is just holding on to the Senate any kind of extra power? Because you still have the House, the Senate, and the president are all equal powers, and one can veto the other. So even with just the Senate, if it starts from the top, if it starts from Biden, the bill, and it goes down, once it gets to the House, it's going to fail. So what are you even talking about? Like, she's literally treating us like as if we don't know how politics work. So I think she's she's being ridiculous. Did you know that they could have passed Medicare for all in 2008? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like they were gonna, that it was like that. It wasn't Medicare for all, but they just kind of took a lot of the verbiage out. Putin dressed as Nancy as a granny. What? This bint was also talking. Oh, this bitch was also talking Medicare for all years ago herself. Yeah, somebody in the comment section earlier said that she was running for Medicare for all when she first started running way back in the day, like 100 years ago when dinosaurs were still roaming the earth. And Manchin and Cinema are still in the Senate. Oh, are they really? Yeah, no, we don't have shit. So we ain't gonna get shit. See, there we go. So we ain't gonna get shit still.
The Constitution removes all doubt. The full faith and credit of the United States of America is not in doubt. But this is a practice that we have engaged in, and so we'll have to, again, lift the debt ceiling so that the full faith and credit of the United States is respected. There's great risk to even discussing not doing it. When the Republicans did this before,
here they go, wanting to raise the debt ceiling again instead of taxing these rich people and stop giving them so much untaxed free subsidies. Take, what is it like where you can like tax assets to gain of no. Wow, I was about to say gain of function research, but that's for cocoa virus. God damn, I'm tired and I'm sick and my brain's all mumbled up, but yeah.
Our credit rating. Lowered our credit rating, even though it didn't eventually happen, but just the discussion of it. So this is dealing with fire when we're talking about the stability of our credit rating.
In the face of all this news, we see that Donald Trump is planning to announce for president again on Tuesday. Is that good news for Democrats?
I don't go into any discussion of his plans. I mean, I think it's bad news for the country, let's put it that way, because this is a person who has undermined the integrity of our elections, has not honored his oath of office, who has encouraged people, strange kinds of people, to run for office, who do not share the values of our democracy. They've said it very clearly in their statement. So he has not been a force for good. So I don't think his candidacy is a force for good for our country. But that's up to the Republicans to decide who they will choose. Understand this, we have very vast differences.
Right, because I absolutely agree, Lana, because no matter how much you raise the debt limit and everything, it's still, it's not taxes that you're gathering from people first. All you're doing is saying, okay, now we can spend this much more by raising the debt limit. So yeah, it's absolutely just all political theater of her trying to say like, we need to do this, this, and this, so that way we can raise the debt limit. Like, no, you don't. You absolutely don't. You want people to stop being scared of this debt clock in New York and how much it's raising up, then start actually taxing the rich people who aren't being taxed, tax their assets and stuff. You do all of that because yeah, there is that real fear of the debt clock, and I can see and understand people being afraid of it, but raising the debt ceiling and then having to balance it out in certain ways, like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Right. It's the sale of the treasuries. Exactly. They just want something to argue about. It's distraction. Absolutely, Ilana. Thank you.
That supports science, so they disregard what we're saying about climate. They don't support governance, so they don't want to honor what science tells us in terms of the planet, in terms of healthcare and the rest. So we have some very big differences. There's the main event of it all is the presidential. As important as our races are, if we were in Las Vegas, we're the lounge act. There, the presidential is the main event. And this will be a very
right. You want to smoke more of the weeds. I know I should. I'm just so sick that like one hit off my bong is done. I'm done for. I am done. Because the cold or something that I have right now is mainly in my throat. So like the smoke that goes down, it hurts so bad. And I was like absolutely terrified to even smoke my weed now because of how much it hurts my throat. It's painful. Okay. See you later, Lana. Have a good meeting today. at the Q&A after his Valdi speech, Putin referred to Pelosi as a granny. Oh, how awesome. How awesome. You burn sage for my recovery. Thank you. That's what I should probably do, huh? Is burn some sage. I also have some oak wood that I could probably burn. That would be really nice. I should probably do that. You're right. Thank you for doing that for me too. I super appreciate that. I think I'm going to do that today after the live stream. Thank you for reminding me. Should probably do that. Okay.
Important election, very dispositive of the direction our country will go in.
So do you think President Biden should run again?
Yes, I do. I mean, President Biden has been a great president for our country. He has accomplished so much. 10 million jobs, over 10 million jobs under his leadership, working with the private sector, of course. He has just done so many things that are so great. We need a lot more show to tell it, but he's put money in people's pockets, vaccines in their arms, children back to school, people back.
Whoa, lady. Joe Biden did not put barely any. He might have put some money into our pockets, but didn't he only put in like half of the 2,000 or even a partial? Like one of them paid 1,100 and then the other one did 600. So I believe it was only paid us 600. So by putting money in our pockets is omitting the fact that you literally made us suffer for 2 years. Like $2,000 for 2 years is nothing. You're literally, a lot of those people who lost their jobs and couldn't work anymore made $1,000 a year annually. If you look at it in the bigger picture, they made $1,000 a year during those 2 years. Okay, technically not even $1,000 a year because it wasn't even the full 2,000. So they didn't even get a full $2,000 for 2 years. That's $1,000 a year. That is so below the poverty line. It's fucking sickening how below the poverty line that is. And she sits there and says that they gave money to us during the pandemic. Bitch, you didn't give us shit. We could have made we could have made more money with the fucking slave wages that you give us nowadays, with the $9 an hour slave wages at a regular job. Like, you could have kept the economy open, made us all wear masks like you said you were doing, like the mask mandates, and let people fucking make at least $10,000 to $12,000 a year, which is actual the poverty line, even though it's still fucking way below what a poverty line should be. There shouldn't even be a fucking poverty line. Poverty line should start at middle class wages. Ridiculous. But then she's going to sit there and say that it was some big thing. Fuck you. No, it wasn't. It wasn't shit. You can't sit there and say that we did great here in America by making $1,000 an entire year. And what's even shittier about it is it took us a whole fucking year to even get that money. Like, a lot of people had to prove shit. We had to prove this and prove that, and kept calling to IRS and to so many different people just to be able to get this money. It was absolutely ridiculous how hard it was to even get the PPP loan. So fuck out of here, bitch, with your bullshit. So
to work, for starters, creating 10 million jobs. He has made in America.
And with the creating the jobs thing, yeah, he might have started creating jobs, but he needs to balance. We got so under how many jobs were available because of the pandemic that he didn't create, like, we weren't at an even point where we were before the pandemic and he made more jobs. We were already under the even line of the pandemic, and what he's doing with creating these jobs now is just getting us up in America to the even line of where we were before the pandemic. So when she says he created jobs, that's more floof piece, that's more fake shit, manipulation of words, because all he did really was, or all he is still doing, because he's not even up to that even point, is trying to get up to the before the pandemic point. He hasn't got there, but she's like, oh, he brought in so many jobs. Fuck out of here with your bullshit again, bitch. The words, the word salads that come out of these people's mouth, man. All you have to do is pay a little bit of attention to what they're saying, and you can fucking just sit there and call them out on their bullshit every time. Every fucking time.
Independent by passing the CHIPS bill that says we're no longer reliant on those who withhold products that enable us to manufacture in our country. The IRA, I just saw him make the speech in Egypt where he spoke about America's commitment to preserving the planet with the legislation, the IRA, $368 billion in good paying green jobs, clean air, clean water for our children, national security issue to stop
Exactly,
migrations
Marxist,
and
exactly.
competition for habitat and food, as well as honoring our responsibility to future generations. The PACT Act, honoring our veterans, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, all of it with justice, with equity, with inclusiveness.
The veteran pact, you mean the ones that what's his name had to go and actually fight you guys in Congress to actually get it to bring it back because it was about to end, and he literally fought tooth and nail to get you guys to reinstate that? Is that what you're talking about with the veteran pact? I'm asking for a friend, bitch, just saying. And what was the other thing she said as well?
The bipartisan infrastructure bill.
Oh, yeah, the bipartisan infrastructure bill. You mean the bill that was supposed to be with Build Back Better to help regular citizens because the infrastructure bill only helps corporations? So you mean that one, right? The one where you actually just passed the bill that helped corporations and completely just denied and rejected and ignored the one that was going to help the regular people? Is that the bill that you're talking about? Because there's even some more omissions from her in word salad. You called it the infrastructure bill, which only helped corporations get a whole bunch of free extra money, more than what we got as regular citizens, so that way they can pay back their shareholders and stock buybacks on their own company. But you completely ignored Build Back Better, which these bills were supposed to go together and pass together, and you just threw that Build Back Better to the trash, which actually would have helped regular citizens. And then probably if you would have paid attention more to Build Back Better and ignore the infrastructure bill, we probably wouldn't be dealing with the inflation problems that we have right now, at least as bad as it is, because obviously, there was still like supply chain problems, people not even having enough money. There's a lot of different things, but I know one of the small points was that. So, hey, what's up, Jim? Good to see you. Sorry, I am on a roll today. This Nancy Pelosi shit pisses me off.
All of it with justice, with equity, with inclusiveness, with diversity, taking us to a new place. He has been a great president. He has a great record to run on.
No, he doesn't. You're a goddamn liar. You are goddamn. I'm not. I don't think the rest of any of it's. No, I don't think the rest of it's really good. I really don't. So yeah, there you go. Fucking. Democrats are no different. They're still going to say fluff pieces. They're still going to not change anything. They're still going to do, I promise you guys, keep an eye out for that ratchet effect. It's constant. If you have the ratchet effect ingrained in your head, you're always going to see the way that they use words to set in stone what we know as the ratchet effect. Like, they make us think that, oh, we hope, like I was saying earlier, the trigger words. We just got to keep our eyes on that. So I was told to watch The Amazing Atheist called I Love Riots. The price, you know who was it? Somebody was saying the other day that the price of diesel is like ridiculous right now. I think it was might have been Shake and Bacon that was talking about it, because he lives in Canada. And I think he was talking about how much it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Here, I can probably Google diesel prices in my state. Let's do my state in California. Diesel price in California today is over $6. Okay, you guys like The Amazing Atheist? Yeah, it's what inflation is. It's part of what inflation is coming from, for sure. I mean, it's not just the gas, but yeah, no, commodities, groceries, housing, the car market, the Fed increasing the what is it, the percentage rate or something like that. I keep forgetting the name of it because I always think of like APR, annual percentage rate. It always makes me think of that. But yeah, the Fed increasing the percentage rate. So it's just, yeah. So the Amazing Atheist, that Riot's video is based. Okay. I got it up. It's right here. This is it, right? All right. I mean, I'm only going until 1 p.m. today. So I've got like less than an hour and a lot of things to talk about, but fuck it. Fuck it. We'll do it. We'll watch it. I'm going to start this and run to the bathroom really quick.
Amazing.
Wait. I should probably pass up that. It most likely won't get struck down. Okay. He's got 956,000 subscribers, so he might not. Well, let's hope not. Y'all try to get me in trouble.
Mine's so hard it grew an inch, bringing me up to almost average, which is nice. Now when I pull it out, my wife only chuckles instead of outright laughs. I'm just kidding, of course. My wife doesn't laugh at my dick, at least not to my face. What was I talking about?
What?
Oh, social order in general. Like, no.
What? Right? Okay,
I'm
we'll
talking
do
about
it
the
live.
riots, right? The riots. I love riots. I love the breakdown of the social order in general. Like when I see a video of a bunch of protesters burning down an auto zone, and then I see people in the comments saying, "Why would they burn down the auto zone?" I don't know who these people are. I don't know how they think. But my question to them is, why not burn down the auto zone? Certainly looks prettier on fire, don't you think? I guess I feel a little bad for the wage slaves that no longer get their quasi-subsistence AutoZone paycheck anymore, but that's about it. The CEO of AutoZone, William C. Rhodes III. By the way, I do think it's pretty cool that the guy who runs AutoZone is named Rhodes, but I am highly susceptible to puns, so ignore me. Anyway, William C. Rhodes, he made $8,617,562 last year. How much does the average AutoZone employee make? $12.07 an hour. So that means that they would have to work for about 713,000. Do this off the top of my head. 713,965 hours to make as much as the guy that they work for, or that'd be 81 years straight, basically, roundabout. You know, there's like a decimal in there. I just excise that. You know, rounding. It's good. Why do I bring that up though? Because fuck
Hey,
auto.
Les Bones, you're absolutely good. I understand. You had a late night last night. You got a lot of work to do. You are allowed to lurk as much as you would like. Thank you for coming by, and everybody that's in the audience. If you're not subscribed, please hit subscribe. We got like 49 more from what I checked this morning until we hit our monetization point, which I'm so excited about. We're finally under the 3 digits, and we're getting there, and it's super super exciting. Hit the like button if you can. Just really quickly hit that like button, and then come back into the chat and come and hang out some more. It doesn't take too much work, and it extremely helps out in the algorithms with us, getting our words out there, getting our content out there, reaching more people, especially amazing people like a lot of you that have been coming in. You got Cape Socialist, which is new. We got Luigi and Mario, who are new around here. Marxist Leninist, 1993. We got so many really amazing new people that are coming in. And I'm super, super excited about it. So please, please, please help us just grow a little bit. I promise after we hit the 1,000 mark, I will not ask anymore. I promise. That's it. Like, that's my goal is 1,000. After that, we'll let KRTD figure out what they want to do next. Yes, absolutely. He hustles hard. He's a good worker. He's got to pay for all those subscriptions on people's content, YouTube and Twitch content. uh, Asian content creator in, wait, what? I'm sorry, Jim. But if you go to, and thank you, Warren, for hooking that up. Not going to happen. I've gone, if you go onto his page and you look up from about 8 or 9 months ago, I already went onto his show to defend myself from the things that he was saying about me. And then this weekend, he decided to do another hit piece on me. And I'm going to completely ignore him. I've tried to reach out. I've offered a hand and help with him. And no longer will I do that. He is officially harassing me, and I will not be tolerating it. If anything, everybody here can thank Warren for talking me out of going off and going crazy on some motherfucker. I've already tried. I'm sorry, Jim. I love you to death. You are a great, great person. You know I love you, but the way that guy treats me, not going to happen. Never. I tried already. I've done my part, and this is what the things I get from this guy, which he continually says that I'm just a pretty face and that I have no brain behind me. I'm over it. I don't need to deal with men like that. I'm cool. Yeah, I know we're all smokers, but that doesn't make me want to bond with somebody. I've tried, so he does. He thinks that I'm a door flunk. Yeah, exactly. He thinks that I like constantly know and that I'm conspiring against him with Door. I've never said a single word to him. Don't even know who I know who Jimmy Dore is, obviously, because I've seen him on YouTube. I've never said a single word to that guy. He has no idea who I am at all. Like, I've even tried, like, I never even tried to get to know him. All I've ever said about Jimmy Dore is that I just want him to know that there is a girl out in the world that has the Jimmy name. That's it. That's all I ever want to know with Jimmy Dore. And he thinks that I'm just some conspiring thing against him, and I'm not. No, that guy can kiss my pretty little white ass. Exactly. I'm a Yona sister. I am a Yona sister. You're one of his issues. Ooh, does he not like you either or something? Because see, that's what I tried to do at first. He tried to do the same thing like almost a year ago, where he's like, who's this pretty face over at KRTD? Why is she doing all this stuff when there's a bunch of intelligent older men that can be doing the same job? So I went on his show and I was like, hey, I'm fucking smart too. Like, you can't sit there and just say that I'm a pretty girl without any brains behind. Like, that's super stereotypical of you to say that to me. And that hurts my fucking feelings, because guess what? Look, you guys, I know I'm fucking pretty. All right. I get it. I know I'm pretty. I know I have a pretty face. I know I'm fucking eye candy. I totally understand. But guess what? I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick and tired of it. I have been told that I am a beautiful girl since I was a child, when grown men would come to me and say that I am going to grow up to be a beautiful young woman. Do you know how disgusting I felt from hearing that from older men as a child? I'm so tired of hearing that I'm a pretty face and that's it. And that is why I spent a lot of my time growing up trying to learn everything that I possibly can, because I felt like I needed to prove that I was more than just a pretty face. And hearing him going around making video, or him on his YouTube making videos saying that exact thing, it still pisses me off, because I'm almost 40 fucking years old and I'm still dealing with it. Like, I didn't pick my face. I didn't pick my genes. I didn't pick any of this, but I can pick how intelligent I am. So why can't you at least accept and be okay with the fact that I have chosen to be intelligent and stop looking at what's here? Okay? He is hurtful and he is harassing, and I'm done. I'm over it. I'm absolutely over people thinking that just because you have a pretty face that you don't have a brain behind there. It's the most annoying, stupid thing that I've ever heard in my fucking life, and I'm so tired of it. I do not have beef with Jimmy Dore at all. No, not whatsoever. Absolutely not. I don't have any kind of beef with him. I don't know him. So, I watched some of his shows here and there. I mean, we just watched an episode of his like an hour ago. So I don't hate him or anything. Thank you, Warren. Love you to death. Yeah. He's only turned nice after he'd done an impromptu interview and was fast firing questions. It was unprofessional, but has changed his vibe towards me since. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Not professional, yeah. No, this isn't about Jimmy Dore. No. If you look in the comment, I won't bring the name up on my thing because I don't want to give him anything. But if you look in the comment section, you'll see who they're talking about. He does have mental issues. Just recently he was out. Yeah, exactly. He was outside of a Ron Placone venue screaming, yelling and screaming. Exactly. All right, let's finish watching this guy. Sidetracking me, and I didn't want to talk about that guy at all. I have been trying to ignore the beating that I've been getting from that man all weekend. I cried a lot. It sucks. I know. It's bullshit, but I don't know. I guess it's part of being a pretty girl. I don't know.
AutoZone. That's why. I'm supposed to have sympathy for AutoZone. I hope every fucking AutoZone on earth burns to the fucking ground and people have to resort to making car parts out of clay. Yeah, that's right. Learn to work a fucking kiln, bitch. It's probably worth mentioning.
No. Not like physically, no. Just verbally.
There's a good chance that the cops themselves started the AutoZone fire. You guys probably seen the video of the very suspicious white man dressed in all black, carrying a black umbrella and conducting himself very much like a fucking cop. But I can't prove he's a cop, so let's move on. I'm also insulted that I'm supposed to feel bad for that Target that got looted, you know? Like, are there people out there who legitimately are like concerned for Target? When some mom and pop store gets looted or burned, I can see being sad about that. I can see, oh no, the protesters are destroying their own community. That seems to be a favorite talking point of the misguided brainlets who actually defend the terrible status quo in this country. But when the target is Target, who exactly do I feel sorry for? You know, Brian C. Cornell.
I totally agree with this guy. This guy is, like you were saying, he's based. Absolutely. Like, when all that shit was going on and they're like, they're ruining the community. I'm like, yo, they're fucking stealing from Target. The CEO of Target has insurance on every item in that store. So no matter how much you steal from those stores, insurance is going to cover that for them. That CEO or the business owner of that Target is not going to miss out on a lot of money. Insurance covers everything. Even like if you grow up or if you know people that steal, that's one of the main reasons why they steal is because if you're lacking, you can go steal. Target or Walmart is going to have insurance to cover it. It's these big corporations that I did not feel bad about during the riots. I was like, you guys are seriously talking about ruining the community when they're stealing from Walmart? Target? Come on.
Oh,
I've never even heard of this guy before right now. So he got his start on YouTube by being contrarian atheist. He's known for that. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I've never even heard of this guy before right now. So
CEO of Target who took home $17,204,069 in 2018. You know, must just feel bad for him when he's paying his cashiers an average wage of $11.14 an hour. You know, they'd have to work 1,544,350.9 hours to make as much as he does in one fucking year. Or, you know, put it another way, 176.1 years of straight nonstop labor just to be worth as much as the great CEO of Target. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really supposed to give a fuck about companies that fuck over their employees this badly? Why? Like, why? Because that's what this country has disgustingly defined as normal? Because the CEO is just so much better than the average person that he deserves to make like 742 times more than a cashier that works at one of his stores? because he is a fundamentally superior human being that is more entitled to luxury than anyone else. An assessment, by the way, that's based entirely on his ability to grind people into dust and sell that dust for a tidy profit. I hope every Target in America is looted until the stores are as barren as the little black void where Brian C. Cornell's heart is supposed to be. And furthermore, I hope Brian C. Cornell dies alone and cold in a gutter, trying and failing to find someone with low enough standards to let him blow them just so he can have a hot meal. This pusillanimous puddle of pig shit purportedly has a net worth of $56.5 million. I'm weeping for him because one of his stores got looted. He doesn't get to make as much profit selling Taiwanese child labor t-shirts to a menagerie of passive and complacent Americans who shuffle into his shops like cattle into a fucking abattoir. This is what the fuck I'm supposed to be losing sleep over? Meanwhile, the same people who are telling me that I should be splashing around in my own fucking tears because vulture capitalists that are pecking at the bones of the American dream lost a fucking molecule of profit. Those motherfuckers are the same motherfuckers telling me that the cop who crushed George Floyd's windpipe isn't such a bad guy after all. Officer Derek Chauvin kneeled on George Floyd's throat for 9 minutes straight while the guy pleaded for air and bystanders begged the cop to show some whiff of empathy or humanity and to please stop slowly murdering a man on a public street. We're supposed to buy that this situation is righteous because Floyd wrote a bad check, because he resisted arrest, because he didn't sufficiently obey the cadre of state-sanctioned thugs that pinned him to the asphalt and crushed his windpipe like a soda can. You know, when a man is crushed to death by a state pig, the reaction from a certain segment of the people is that he must have somehow deserved it. He didn't do what he was supposed to do, and any harm that came to him, he must have been the author of it somehow. He must be to blame.
Man, you're right. This guy is fucking based. Why have I never heard of this guy before? Holy shit. I love his little words that he does. He'll use like he'll use verbs with all the same beginning letters. I love it.
Blame. Whether he was writing bad checks or selling cigarettes on the street corner or playing with a toy gun or just walking home with a fucking bag of Skittles in his fucking hoodie. But if harm comes to a big American business enterprise, that same group of people doesn't stop for a fucking second to wonder what that business might have done to bring this upon itself. Human life is cheap to these people. Business is what matters. Profit over people, even if it's not their profit.
See, that's what I always said. Like when people went and did all the riots and stuff, and the conservatives were like, "Oh, poor Walmart. Oh, poor Target." I'm like, can you just like at least put yourselves in these regular, like instead of putting yourselves in the owner of Target shoes, which seems to be so fucking easy for you to empathize with a billionaire, but you know, empathizing and putting putting yourself in the shoes of somebody who's poor, you know, and maybe wanting to go and, you know, do the whole stealing from Target just so they can have like a big screen TV or something just to make them a little bit happier. Why don't you ask why? Why can't people empathize that way? Why can't people ask, you know, the regular people, what's going on in your life that makes you feel like you had to do this? You know, that's the same with homelessness. Like instead of, you know, people saying, well, I need to get these people out of our area because they look disgusting, ask, why are you homeless and how can I help you get out of this situation? Instead of saying, oh, you're disgusting, just get out of my area so I don't have to look at you. It's the same fucking thing. Like instead of being, oh, poor Target, poor CEO of Target, because of all of these looters and rioters, they're ruining the city. Why are people looting? Why are they doing it? Let's say because there's injustice and the fact that people are generationally poor, so they want to go out and get a fucking big screen TV while they have the opportunity. Ask them. Ask the people. Like, start empathizing with the regular people. But no, they'll empathize with Target all fucking day long. Stupid.
Going to defend the profit of some millionaire or billionaire who wouldn't fucking take time out of their day to spit on them over the life of a fellow human being. Why is that, do you think? These are the same people who want to reopen
Yeah, me
America
too.
prematurely.
Guys, I've never
Because
heard
to
of this
them,
guy.
the
This guy's,
economy
like,
is
right
more
up my
important than
alley.
human life itself. Many of them have even stated their own willingness to die to save the economy. Not only is profit more important to them than other people, it's more important to them than their very own lives. They would rather die than see a billionaire marginally suffer. This is not an economy. This is a fucking religion. I think it should be obvious to everyone at this point that capitalism, at least as it currently exists in America, is a death cult. Fuck Jesus. Fuck the Bible. That shit means nothing to America.
Yup.
If these people followed Jesus, they'd view one another as brothers and sisters,
Yup.
not as the competition or the customer or the worker or whatever other made up distinctions they've built into their rigged hierarchy of dehumanizing bullshit. The official state religion of America is money. And your worth as a human being is tied inexorably to how much of it you have.
Yup.
If you have a lot, you get to make and break the rules at your fucking leisure. If you don't, you get to die face down with the knee of a fascist crushing your neck, futilely pleading for mercy from the absolutely merciless. And then you get to have your public execution justified by the most repugnant piles of shit to ever crawl from the sewage of our collective humanity. A poor black community being terrorized by state thugs who are controlled by politicians, who are controlled by the donor class. This status quo is just peachy keen with many Americans. They sit there and they watch the tyrannical shitbag Boys in Blue on live PD like it's nothing more than the latest entertainment to lap up between shopping sprees so they can buy shit they don't need from an unfulfilled army of wage slaves being exploited by the sociopathic oligarchs who are bleeding this country dry. And this is the
fucking Christ, is this guy good? Holy shit. Does he sit there and write this? Because I could never come up with something that good off the top of my head like that. I smoke too much weed. Holy fuck, this guy is a G. Imagine an American president making right. I'm telling, that's what I was just thinking in my head. Like, is this guy gonna run for office? Because I would totally vote for him. I would help. I would be a part of his campaign for sure. You think he needs? Oh yeah, the person you're talking about for sure. I've told him the same thing. I'm like, look, if you come at people a different way, you might actually get some benefits coming your way. You're not a bad looking dude. I even told him that to his face. I said, you're not bad looking. You're a gorgeous guy. You're very handsome. You just come at people in a really bad way. Maybe if you changed it up a little bit and came at them a different way, then maybe you wouldn't be looked at the way you are. So, but this guy's great. Who the fuck is this guy, man? I'm about to subscribe to him because he is cool. I dig the whole like half color on his face because it's definitely like what a lot of the YouTubers are doing right now, but they do it in the background, like their walls are this color. And he's like, fuck that shit. I'm not doing it like anyone else. You're going to see my face, those two different colors, not the background. That's awesome. Yeah, he's definitely extremely creative. I want to know if he writes these out, like if he types this out and then reads it, or if this just comes off the top of his head, because this is good. Good. Used to follow his Tumblr, all porn. Well, that's a guy for you, though. I mean, you know, lots of guys do that, so... he's not usually political, but he has interesting politics. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to, when I'm done watching this, I'll subscribe to him and see how this goes, because this is very interesting. So
status quo I'm supposed to get defensive over when it suffers the tiniest little hiccup in the form of a group of people finally getting fed up enough to burn.
Good on him. You know what? If he had one, good on him. He you know, he's obviously not afraid to show publicly what his, you know, his preferences are. So I think that's interesting. I don't like, you know, with all of you guys asking me these, you know, personal sex questions and porn questions, like how I said, a lot of us are very desensitized to it, to where we can sit here and have open conversations about that stuff and not have it feel awkward or weird because we're extremely desensitized. If that's him, he wants to, you know, wants it to be public and let people know, good on him. I have no problem with that. I think that's awesome. So He's known for being a shock jock. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I can tell by his wording, he definitely got those words down where you're like, holy shit, fuck. So he doesn't give a shit what anyone thinks. That's right. That's right. That's what you love about him. I like that too. I like that. That's the atheist guy. I've been subscribed to him for at least a year. Man, you guys are all ahead of the game. I'm telling you, that's why I'm kind of excited about doing this show, is because I am learning so much from you guys as well. Things that I mean, I used to think, oh yeah, I'm caught up to date. I'm ahead of the times when it comes to the news and all the things that are going on. And then you guys come into the audience and you're like, check this one out, check this thing out. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I've never even seen this before. So you guys are great. You guys show me all kinds of new stuff that I super appreciate. My favorite thing in the world is learning. I love to learn, even if it's stuff that I don't care about, if it's something that's just pointless or useless or even useful or something that I disagree with. I love to learn. So learning about this guy and finding him is, I'm excited. So he loves ass. Who doesn't love ass? I'm just saying. Could you imagine if like God was real? Okay. And he's like, I'm going to make these humans and these, you know, with like, you know, all these, you know, perfect features and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to create a mouth so that way people can eat. And then I'm going to create holes down there so that way people can, you know, get rid of the toxins that you just imagine if God was real. Okay. And then like humans start existing around Earth and stuff. And then all of a sudden God like looks down on Earth and finds out that we eat ass. He's like, this is not what this was meant for, motherfuckers. What are you doing? I always think that, and I'm just like, if God was real, I really want him to know that we eat ass for sure. Like, sorry, bro, things that you made for us just didn't end up the way that you wanted it to. Hey, I'm cool. I love big booties. Like a Kardashian booty? Like the Kardashian or what's that one rapper girl from Australia that got the butt job? She's got big booty too. Or who else has nice big butts? There's what is it? The Black China, she's got a butt, but when she does like shoots and like photo shoots, her butt almost looks like a molar, like a tooth. She's a little too wide on the hips. So is the Kardashians sometimes too. As long as they wear like tight fitting outfits, you can kind of like, it brings in a lot of that extra, you know, curve. And they look pretty decent. So I don't mind a big ass. I like big asses. Yeah, like the Kardashians. Okay. If you want to, you can watch a non-political video of his from 2010 titled Everything is Offensive, about political correctness. Yeah, I'm going to, what I'm going to do after the show today is maybe just kind of like watch a couple of his videos, get to know him a little bit more. Jimmy has a list. Yeah, Azalea. I do. I have a butt list. Butts are nice. Butts are nice. Because I grew up with like a big butt when I was younger, and everybody was like, oh, that's not in style. You know, scrawny, skinny girls are in style. And I'm like, but I like big butts. That's what I have. It's what I enjoy it. And now big butts are big and they're in fashion and they're in style. And I'm just like, get it, girl. Get the fucking tushy. Make it juicy. Juicy. But yeah, with his video here, I'm gonna watch some more of his. I've only got like less than a half an hour left until my show is over, and I have not gone into the rest of my things. I have a lot of stuff still to cover. I've got like 5 more things I haven't even touched yet on my list. So maybe tomorrow or one of the days this week, I can watch some more of his stuff. But I'll look into that. Everything is Offensive, and I'll watch that one too. Yep, that's Burton running around.
Turn some shit down. Fuck that. My only complaint about these riots is they're too damn small, too damn isolated, too damn short-lived. Because I know from historical precedent that it won't be long before everything is back to normal. Business as usual. The looted stores will be restocked. The AutoZone may not be rebuilt, but if it's not, some equally repulsive monument to corporate power and capitalist greed will be erected in its fucking place. And ultimately, George Floyd's name will become just another piece of trivia before fading from memory entirely. like everything else this amnesia-riddled country pretends to give a rat's ass about for 5 minutes.
Yup, he ain't lying. We've got goldfish mentality. Americans, man, something happens and like within a week, so many other things happen that you don't even remember. It's kind of like when you're talking the news and you're trying to use examples from the past. It's kind of like you watch it and you're like, oh, this reminds me of that time and I completely forgot about that. And that's how we remember a lot of stuff, because so many things happen. We end up having like a goldfish brain. So
because it's all just too big, isn't it? The elites own everything. They run everything. They got all the money, all the land, all the muscle. The institutions of this country exist to service them. The lawmakers of this country bow down before them. The people of this country either tremble before them if they're smart, or worship them if they're stupid. And it amounts to the same: compliance, obedience, complacency, defeat. Cast a vote, hold up a sign, complain, throw a little tantrum here and there, but then go right back into the machine and keep turning like the good little cog that you are, until they find someone or something cheaper or more efficient than you and throw you into the garbage without ever having so much as looked you in the eye or acknowledged your basic humanity. It's the commodification of the human soul, my brothers and sisters. And not only do they own us, but they hold us as cheap. I'm so weary of it all, to be honest with you. I know that my personal feelings don't really amount to a whole hell of a lot in the light of all that I've described here in this video, but I can't help but share with you just how deeply and spiritually fatigued I am with the state of things. I'm tired of impotently raging in front of a camera and hoping desperately that somehow, some fucking way, this whole damn rotten, festering bag of shit we call a society topples under the weight of its own disease, giving us at least the outside chance of building something better. People who watch my live streams have told me I'm too much of a reformist, not enough of a revolutionary. The real truth is I'm neither. I'm just a voice, bigger than some, smaller than others. I don't know what else to do but speak the truth as I see it for as long as I'm able to do so. And the truth as I see it is that whether by reform or by revolution or by some other means, the world that is must perish and be replaced with something better. I believe that all people should be born into a world that values them not for their utility, but for their humanity. I believe in a world where to be a human being means to be free from cruelty and exploitation. I believe in a world where one person's right to greed does not outweigh another person's right to freedom or to life or to happiness. I believe in a world where everyone is entitled to everything they need to live and to prosper and to be happy, not as a right earned through labor, but as a right of their birth. And if you think that's crazy, then I would hate to see what the fuck you think is sane. I think we're already living in it. And to most of us, it's hell.
Damn, dude. That was really, really good. I'm completely speechless. That was incredible. I don't see anything wrong with any of that. That was really good. Thank you for that. So let's see. What can we talk about next? Here, let's do this because it's pretty short and it's not too long. So this is something that just came up on November 12th, and then Shoe on Head retweeted it. So this is something about Canada is allowing the MIAD service for people who are could be just depressed. So, which is it's crazy. Hey, Comic Pete, welcome. Nice to meet you. Thank you for stopping by. So this person said, can't comprehend how awful this is. And Shoe on Head says they're really just telling people with depression to kill themselves in Canada. That's not even a meme. And so this person looks like a TikTok says when you have such severe treatment resistant depression that even your doctor suggests MAID. And then this person in the comment sections are saying, I'm applying for MAID as soon as I turn 18. For context, I am terminally chronically ill. And then this person put me too. So it looks like people in Canada are just like okay with it and going for it. So here's a little snippet of a Shoe on Head talking about this as well. Yeah, right here. I mean, look at what she's saying right here. A woman in Ontario was forced into euthanasia because her housing benefits did not allow her to get better housing. Soon enough, Canadians from across the country discovered that although they would otherwise prefer to live, they were too poor to improve their conditions to a degree which was acceptable. Oh shit, sorry. I thought you were able I keep forgetting I have window open and I forgot the Chrome tab part. My bad, my bad, my bad. Thank you. Let me replay it. I'll start it over.
I swear to God, this country is nothing but 3 corporations in a trench coat. Why can't we be like the rest of the developed world? They seem to have healthcare figured out. Why can't we be more like Canada?
Why is Canada euthanizing the poor? The Canadian Parliament enacted Bill C-7, a sweeping euthanasia law which repealed the reasonably foreseeable requirement, the requirement that the condition should be terminal. Now, as long as someone is suffering from an illness or disability which cannot be relieved under conditions that you consider acceptable, they can take advantage of what is now called medical assistance.
So here, let me reread this, okay, because this is kind of important as well. So the Canadian Parliament enacted a bill called C-7. It's a sweeping euthanasia law which repealed, so it got rid of the reasonably foreseeable requirement. So the requirement to get suicide assistance is reasonably foreseeable. And so the requirement is a condition or the requirement that the condition, or sorry, that requirement, reasonably foreseeable requirement, is the condition should be terminal. So they got rid of that. It doesn't have to be terminal anymore. So as long as someone's suffering from an illness or a disability that cannot be relieved under conditions that you consider acceptable, they can take advantage of what now know as euthanasia or medically assisted in dying for free because they're under conditions that they consider acceptable. It gets rid of the requirement of needing to be terminal.
In dying for free. A woman in Ontario was forced into euthanasia because her housing benefits did not allow her to get better housing. Canadians from across the country discovered that although they would otherwise prefer to live, they were too poor to improve their conditions to a degree which was acceptable. Next year, the floodgates will open even further when those suffering from mental illness, another disproportionately poor group, become eligible for assisted suicide. There is already talk of allowing mature minors to access euthanasia too.
Oh, you're depressed? That'll be $5,000.
Oh, you're depressed?
Yourself. But Canada is not just the land of free healthcare and euthanasia. It's also the land of...
It's also the land of... So funny. So then the last part of here, it says next year...
Minors.
Next year, the floodgates will open up even further when those suffering from mental illnesses, another disproportionately poor group, becomes eligible for assisted suicide. Although euthanistic doctors and nurses have already preempted the law, there's already talk of allowing mature minors, quote unquote, access to euthanasia too. Wow. And then it says, just think of the lifetime savings. The lifetime savings? Oh, lordy. Gross. I don't think it should be illegal too. I agree with the euthanasia for older people, terminally ill, for people to make their own decisions on their own. But if somebody's just mentally ill or depressed and they're suicidal, this is giving them free access to have that, to end it, just because you're mentally ill. So instead of offering them, instead of the country of Canada offering them therapy and mental help, they're like, we'll just go and now we're just going to let you kill yourself because you're depressed. Like that's a little too brutal for a country. But from what I hear, Canada is no different than America. We just call them the nice version of America. So kids in Asia and kids in Taiwan. Dr. Jack Kevorkian, yep. This thing in Canada goes too far. Yeah, no, I completely agree. So where is it? So here's the actual original tweet about it. And so it's medical assistance in dying, supported suicide. It's not a therapy. This person says it gets worse. They shared a national post. Canadian parents have asked for medically assisted death for babies. Explicit requests. This person didn't read, though, because those were terminally ill babies. They're saying that this is a whole process, mostly for old people who are going through great suffering, even then it's highly monitored. I don't think it's granted for people with mental health problems. This guy's saying it's plain propaganda, but there's actual articles saying that the country is doing this. So, what are some other ones? I read some really, apparently it's not just for people who want to, made as an alternative to poverty. Here we go.
Because his rooming house is up. Amir Farsood has applied for medically assisted dying, known as MAID. He lives in constant agony due to a back injury, but has started the process for end of life because his rooming house is up for sale and he can't find anywhere else to live that he can afford. He barely survives on Ontario disability support payments, which are just over $1,200 a month. He doesn't want to die, but being homeless is not an option.
I know in my present health condition, I wouldn't survive it anyway.
Farsood meets the criteria for MAID: physical suffering due to disability that cannot be relieved. His doctor, who knows Farsood's real reason for MAID is his fear of being homeless, signed off on the application in August. Farsood needs a second to do the same. There's a 90-day waiting period. He believes he could potentially access MAID in about a month.
I don't wish to be dead, even with the pain, even with the meds. I still want to be here.
Amir Farsood has applied for medically assisted.
Oh, he still wants to live, but he's got nowhere else to live, or so his home's up for sale and he got nowhere to live, so now he just wants to make it go faster. See, that's the kind of stuff that's so wrong. Canadian mental health care. Let's see. There was some other good stuff. I'm like shocked that I guess because it's been like a couple hours, so new stuff has popped up since then, but there was some really interesting stuff that I was reading in here earlier. What could cause this one says, wonder what would cause Canada's entire government to allow such a thing. Justin Trudeau, World Economic Forum, obvious. And then Klaus Schwab, executive chairman of the WEC. What we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, the president of Argentina. We penetrate the cabinet. So yesterday I was at the reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half or even more of this cabinet are actually our young global leaders from the World Economic Forum. Thankfully, though, this only happens in Canada and it won't spread to other countries, right? Right? Look at all those WEC motherfuckers. This is ludicrous and sad. Right, I agree. Yeah, right. I can't wait to go to my psychiatrist, say I'm suicidal, and she says you should kill yourself. It's absolutely nuts to me. So yeah, that's, if you guys want to check it out, I think Shoe on Head was talking about it this weekend. If you guys want to go check out all of that that's happening with this information. I feel like there was more stuff, but I'm like missing it. This person says it's real, and the fact that they'd rather people kill themselves than give people proper living conditions, which should solve a majority of these cases, is disgusting. This says Canadians turn to euthanasia as solution to unbearable poverty. There's some evidence that poor people who cannot improve their living conditions have been applying to the MAID program. The Prime Minister's administration has expressed support for MAID program being expanded to people suffering from irredeemable mental illness. The implication of this option, however, has raised ethical concerns. Just a bunch of people fighting back and forth. Like I said, I agree with MAID. I like what they do for people, but when it comes to people wanting to live, and just because they're in a situation of poverty that they can't get out of, shouldn't mean that they should have, that they shouldn't. It's not fair. So, right, like a mercy killing. Just looked up what MAID meant. Okay, choosing to die. Doctors who have been involved in the killings. The name T4 is an abbreviation. A street address. I think that's about it on this, because I haven't seen any of this stuff down here. So that's that. And I am now running out of time. It is 10 till 1 over here on the West Coast. Which is great, I guess. I still have a couple more things I could possibly talk about, but I don't want to overdo myself because I tend to burn out by the end of the week. So I'm hoping to do like an hour less than normal. Instead of 4 hours, do 3, because it'll probably be easier on my mental health. So yeah, I could probably oh, you want to do you want me to play a video? Yeah, let me check out, because I still got about 9 more minutes left. So Yona. Play Yona's Blockbuster video VHS VCR. Okay, I'm looking for it on the YouTube. Blockbuster remix. I remember everything. Yeah, there it is. Okay, got it. All right, you guys, we're gonna get our Yona fix before we get out of here. Here it is.
Imagine the perfect video store. It would have a great selection, right? Right. Over 10,000 videos. 3 evening rentals, so no hassle. Fancy checkout. 24-hour quick drop return. Open late every night. Well, the perfect video store
Welcome to Blockbuster Video.
is popping up all over the country. There's one near you.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
Well, I've been down this road before. I remember every tree, every single blade of grass, holds a special place for me. I remember every town and every hotel room, every song I ever sang on a guitar out of tune. I remember everything, things I can't forget. Way you turned and smiled on me, night that we first met. I remember every night, ocean eyes. How I miss you in the morning light, like roses miss the dew. Been down this road before, alone as I can be. Careful not to let my past go sneaking up on me. Got no future in my happiness, though regrets are very few. I remember everything, things I cannot forget.
No, keep it up. It's our own inside jokes. Nobody else gets it except me.
Swimming pools, butterflies, slip right through the net.
Remember these days? Do you remember these days? I remember these days where you only could like rent the video for a certain amount of days and then you had to go take it back, or else you had to pay him extra money for each day that it was late. Woo, those were the days, man. It was like a family thing, you know, like it was like a friend, like it was an outing, it was an experience, it was an adventure. You go there, you all pick them, you know, you all agree to a movie, or you get a couple of them and you go home, you go buy popcorn, ice cream, you know, all the snacks that you would normally get when you're going to a movie theater, and you sit at home and you watch the movie because there was no other way to get these movies except through VHS and DVD and Blockbuster. Nowadays, you can literally look it up online and like download it illegally or find some way to have it, you know, use somebody's account and watch it at home. Or most of the time, you know, a lot of movies that are released at the movie theater are also released on certain platforms too for a price. So you can still sit at home and do it. It's just the whole going to Blockbuster was an experience and it was fun. I do miss it a lot.
Things I can't forget. Way you turned and smiled on me, night that we first met. Sometimes a little tenderness was the best I could do. Got no future in my happiness, no regrets are very few. I remember everything, things I cannot forget. Your love never ends.
That's so good. That was so nostalgic. Dang. Made me miss Blockbuster. Now I miss Blockbuster videos. I'm sad. I like Blockbuster video. What a time. What a time to be alive. The good days before people started locking their doors and we had to be home all the time. Those are the days when we can run around outside and come home with the lights turned on. Oh, childhood. The last of the wild, wild west. How cool was that? I enjoyed that. Thank you, Yona. You guys go check out Yona on YouTube. Give him a follow. He lost everything recently. Like, his whole entire channel is just gone. And so he had to re-put up all, like, he's still working on putting up all of his stuff. He has, I believe he has a Rumble as well, but we're trying to hook him up, get him his channel back up and running with some subscribers. So go and check him out over on YouTube. Looks like he's got a few videos out already. Looks like a couple of music videos and then one of his live streams from this weekend, which was a really good show. Very interesting. It was an after party pretty much. It was a lot of fun. Lots of music. He played some music for us, which was really great. Really good songs. He's very talented. So go check him out. I will be back tomorrow in the morning. I don't believe we have anybody going live today. Because Denard should be starting next week. So I pretty much have like the whole day to release some clips today. So hopefully I have enough clips to release in bits. So I'm going to be doing, keep your eyes out for that here on KRTD. I'll be releasing those throughout the day. All you have to do to know when our videos are coming out, because there's no scheduling for them, I just put them straight up on YouTube and have them scheduled. Right next to the subscribe button, if you hit that little bell notification, that'll turn on notifications to let you know when we come out with a video. Please hit the like button if you like today's show. Helps out with, like I said, helps out with algorithms, helps us out with our goal that we're trying to get to monetization point, which is 1,000 subscribers. We are working on our way to get there. I'm very proud of us at KRTD. We have been working extremely hard, weekly meetings, lots and lots of volunteer work, lots of help, lots of burnouts, lots of stress, but we're doing it and we're dedicated and we are just, we love each other and we want to see each other succeed. I'm doing this for KRTD. I'm not doing this for myself. This is to help them out, which I am a part of. Helping them helps benefit me. Seeing them happy makes me happy, and they're all happy with what I'm doing. So I am here to serve. So if you guys please want to help us out, that would be tremendous and truly appreciated. And keep your eye out for, like I said, the clips today. And I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I think the 3 hours might work because I feel like I still have an hour to go in my head and in my gut. It feels like I got an hour, but I know I'm done now. And I kind of like it. I think it's nice. I think 3 hours is probably good. Joe Rogan does his show for 3 hours. So I think that might be that sweet spot right there. So definitely and I'm enjoying the getting off at 1 in the afternoon. Love you, Warren. Love you all for coming. Thank you all. Les Bones, thank you for stopping by. Of course, as usual, Warren, of course, I love you. Holly, thank you for stopping by. Yona, love your music. Thank you for always helping out and just being family. You're just an incredibly amazing, wonderful person. I absolutely adore you. Luigi, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us today. Absolutely loved your inputs and your conversations. Cosmic Beat, thank you for coming by. Nice to meet you. Hope to see you again. Marxist Lenicist 1993, thank you for stopping by again. Super appreciate you coming by and helping out and putting your input as well. Jim Ingle, Official People's Party, loved having you coming by, of course, to say hi. I super appreciate you as well. I'm going through all the names right now. Lula, thank you for stopping by. Good to see you. It's awesome to see you while I'm on screen and you're in the thing, because usually I see you in the audience with me too. So it's really, really cool to see you in here. Thank you for stopping by and showing support. I absolutely appreciate you as well. Let me see. I know I'm going to be missing somebody because yeah, Tenzin, thank you for coming by and helping out. I love your inputs. I love everything you do, showing me new things, helping me learn new things. Shake and Bacon, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for coming by today. Absolutely love you to death. Anyone else? I'm hoping I did not miss anyone else. Lana, thank you for coming by. Almost missed Lana. Can't forget Lana. Radu N. Thank you for coming in with a joke. Super appreciate you. Anybody else that hasn't said anything, if you're just lurking or if you're just too busy and you just want to listen in on the background and not say anything, I appreciate you for coming as well. Thank you, Amber. Steve, thank you for stopping by. Brandy, thank you for stopping by. Stinky Souls, thank you for coming and hanging out with us today. Tubbo or Thubbo, super appreciated. Super appreciate you stopping by. Nice to meet you. I hope you come back again as well. I believe I'm back at the top. Oh, and then whoever the fountainhead was that said hello first, thank you for being first to say hello. All right, bye, Les Bones. Goodbye, goodbye, and good vibes. One love. Thank you, Comic Beat. Good to see that you're still here. You're awesome. Super appreciate you all. And I will see you all tomorrow. Okay, bye.